Hello everyone. Welcome one, welcome all, welcome chat to PBE Season 41, the semifinals stream. I am your host for today, AJay887, and I am joined by the wonderful and talented Lord Parquad. Parquad, how are you doing today?
I am lovely. Excited to have my heart broken. So, as always, ready to go.
You and me both. As we mentioned actually just before the stream, it's very fitting that we have both a Sloth and a Voyager on the semifinals stream when the two teams are facing each other. And Hummus, I really hope it's not a 5 hour stream. As much as I would love to spend all that time with you, Parquad, I gotta go to sleep at some point.
Yeah, it would make tomorrow's workday very interesting. That's for sure.
It absolutely would. So we're going to do a quick preview of all the lineups as we go through these head-to-heads. San Antonio Sloths versus the New York Voyagers, the Legends Conference Final. One of these two teams is going to be in the World Series for Season 41 this Saturday. Sloths, the last time that they were in the semifinals was actually 5 seasons ago. Season 36, where they got swept by Providence, who they actually beat this year 3-1 in the first round in order to get to the semifinals. They actually last faced New York in the semifinals only 2 seasons prior, where the Sloths did win 4-1. So the Voyagers will be looking for a little bit of revenge from that series way back in season 34, when the Sloths actually did go on to win the World Series, and it was their last World Series win and appearance in season 34. New York, they lost the World Series last season against the Death Valley Scorpions 4-2. So they are looking for a win here to get back to the World Series for the second season in a row, and to hopefully get a win in that World Series to prove that it wasn't a fluke last year that they got there. They beat Toronto in a clean 3-0 sweep to get here and are the 3rd seed in the Legends. Last time they won the World Series was back in season 25. We do have the Champions Conference Final as well in the majors here. That's the Detroit Demons versus the Lunar Base Space Rangers. The Demons beat Death Valley 3-2 in order to get here this season. The season 37 was the last time that they made it to the semifinals, where they lost narrowly to Nashville 4-3. Last 2 seasons they lost in the divisional series to Lunar Base in season 39 and to Death Valley last season. And the last time that these two teams played in the semifinals was back when Lunar Base was Sarasota, way back in season 26, believe it or not. So these two teams have not matched up in the semifinals since then, and will be matching up here today. Detroit will be looking to make it back to the World Series for the first time since season 35, to try and win it for the first time since season 29. Lunar Base, They've had a very interesting story these past few seasons. They're still looking to make the World Series for the first time since season 14, and the first time under the Lunar Base branding, where they were Florida Space Rangers way back then in season 14. They have lost 3 straight semifinals in the last 3 seasons. So they'll either lose number 4 in a row this season, or they will win and advance to the World Series and have a chance to win the first ever World Series under the Space Ranger branding. So this is going to be a very interesting matchup as well. We also have the Minors semifinals series. Brew City Bears versus the Chicago Kingpins will be the first one. Brew City Bears, in order to get here, defeated State College Swift Steeds 3-2 in round 1. This is their 3rd straight semifinal appearance, and they matched up in the semifinals actually against Chicago just last year, where they lost in a very narrow 4-3 series. That one was a nail biter, if I remember it correctly. And the Bears haven't made it back to the World Series since season 36, when it was their last win of the World Series. Chicago, well, they're the defending World Series champs. They won last season and have made the playoffs 7 seasons in a row. So they'll be looking to repeat here. And the Brew City Bears are standing in their way of getting to that big show. And then the last series that we have going on today is the Dillos versus the Hepcats. The Armadillos, last time they were in the World Series was the last time they won it in season 35. They actually lost the semifinals last season to State College Swift Steeds after 3-1ing the Hepcats in round 1. So these two teams have matched up in the playoffs before, just last season. And season 29 was the last time that they faced Kansas City in the semifinals specifically. The Dillas had to beat Anchorage 3-2 to get here, while the Kansas City Hepcats had that first round bye. This is their 18th straight playoff appearance. 18. They have not missed the playoffs since before Brew City and Louisville even existed as minor league teams. That is wild to me.
That's. I mean, it just kind of shows what the KC pedigree is.
Absolutely. A very historically sound team in the playoffs. They are the number one seed this year as well, 71-37 record to get to this point. And just 2 seasons ago, they got to the World Series and they won it. So they'll be looking to win the World Series again for their second time in 3 seasons. Those are our matchups. If you aren't familiar with PBE playoff streams, we do quick sim all of the non-elimination games for these series. So we will be quick simming every single game 1, every single game 2 and 3. And then in game 4, if any team has a 3-0 lead, we will be watching their game 4. Otherwise, we'll be simming game 4 as well. And then as soon as we hit a point where a team can be eliminated, then we will be watching the rest of the games from there on out, so that no team actually misses out on their team getting eliminated. So without any further ado, let's get on into game number 1 between the Sloths and the Voyagers. Parquad, I would ask you if you have a prediction on which team you think is going to win this one, but I think we're both biased.
Maybe a little. But I do honestly, it would not surprise me if this is one of those series that comes down to the final game. Just because, well, one, I know how, the Voyager luck always is, but also, two, you can't fault Juosu and how she puts together her Sloth teams. So I think this is probably going to be one of those that comes down to the very last inning.
I think I would agree with that. This is going to be a very close one. Wendy Marvell versus Kit Catcher on the mound. The winner of game number... Thank you very much. It goes to Hardware515 for subscribing with Prime. Much appreciated, Sarah. Should you grab more iced coffee? Go for it. But you're going to miss game number 1 box score if you do. So game number 1, Sloths Voyagers. The winner of game number 1, taking a 1-0 lead in the semifinals, is the New York Voyagers, who will take a 5-2 victory here. Sloths actually out-hit the Voyagers 8-6, but it will be the Voyagers taking game number 1 here on a 4 RBI day from Bellick Cove, the second baseman, who hit a grand slam in the first inning. That's an oof for my pitcher. 2 hits each for Vito, Long Pipe, and Fresca on the side of the Sloths. Kit Catcher will get the win with a great day on the mound. 7 innings, only 1 earned run given up, and striking out 14 Sloths. Marvell, not so much. 2.2 innings, 5 earned runs, gets the loss. Kit Catcher, your player of the game, and is going to tie the Voyagers' playoff game record for strikeouts with 12, and then set the new New York Voyagers playoff game record for strikeouts with 13 and then 14. So a new playoff game record for the New York Voyagers in strikeouts by Kit Catcher. We'll go ahead and update our crawler here. And then Parquad, you want to take us through the other game on
of course.
The majors? All right, lead us into it.
All right, well, starting it off here with Detroit and Lunar Base. We got Quinton Quarters going up against Right into Dirt. So game 1, let's see what we got here for these two aces on the mound. And, it's going to be a close one here, but a 3-2 victory for game 1 to Lunar Base here over Detroit, as Detroit tried a late inning rally there, getting something in the 8th, but unfortunately, those 10 hits could not bring across the runs. All right, for batting here on Detroit's side, almost everyone getting hits with multi-hit games here from Apollo and McSticks, as well as Dogwood at the bottom, but unfortunately not being able to push across those runs. We're looking over at the Lunar Base side. Only a few hits sprinkled across, but something big there from Boyant with that 2 RBI double and then a solo shot by Sloth Seiko. On the pitching side, Quinton Quarters will take the loss here, but I mean, unfortunately, with that lack of run support, that's what's going to happen. Into Dirt with the no decision, but then a strong outing there from Marston and Benjamin in the bullpen for Lunar Base to secure that win. Player of the game is going to be Quinton Quarters.
And we do have a prediction live. Will the Sloths even the series up with a Game 2 win? Go ahead and bet with your channel points if you so choose. Also, majors teams, if you have if you have changes after game 1, please do let us know. In the meantime, we will be going through game number 1 of both minors semifinals And we will start off with the Brew City Bears versus the Chicago Kingpins. It's going to be Jay Doctor Jr. versus Ragnar Lothbrok on the mound. Game number 1 is going to go to the Brew City Bears. 7-2 victory for Brew City with 11 hits on the day. We have 3 for 4 day with 3 runs for Legg, the left fielder, Rhino Legg, at the bottom of that order, and 2 RBIs each for Ixon and Bearer at the top of the order. Essence goes 3 for 4 for the Chicago Kingpins, and Jacob and Brown both add an RBI. Lothbrok will get the loss, Schlitz will get the win, and Rhino Legg will be your player of the game.
All right, then next up here, we have the Dillos taking on the Hepcats. See if David can take down Goliath here, as Tommy Vanderhonken will get the start here for Kansas City against Anthony Simmons II. Game 1 underway. Let's see who takes the first game of the series. And it's going to be the Kansas City Hepcats in another late inning run here, scoring 2 in the bottom of the 8th to take the lead. But it's going to be a 22-hit day for both of these teams. So lots of hits, but not a lot of offense coming off of that. Looking over on the Dillos side, we had some big names, like unique name and Cash Thompson, as well as McKenzie getting 3 hits. But then on the Kansas City side, look at those top 5 batters all getting multi-hits except for Gunk. So just lots of offense going up on both sides. Kansas City just having that slight advantage in the runs column. Going down to the pitching here, Simmons will take that no decision, while Olserved up will take the loss and blown save out of the pen, while Vanderhonken threw 6 scoreless, but will take the no decision with Checker the blown save, and then closer with the win. Player of the game is going to be Tommy Vanderhonken.
So minors teams, if you do have any changes to make for game number 2, please do let us know in your channels. We will be trying to move through this first part fairly quickly, since we do have a potential for a lot of streamed games down the line, potential for 16 streamed games. It's never gone that far, and hopefully it does not do that tonight either, but we will finish off today as we head into September 26th. Let's see. So Sloths are the first one that I'm seeing here. They did have a question of whether Antonio was rested. Antonio is rested, and so they want a adjustment made so that it's Antonio, Mitchell, Marvell for the remaining 3. So I think we'll just swap Antonio and Mitchell in the rotation, and that will do the trick. Antonio, Mitchell, Marvell, Antonio. Yeah, that should do it.
All right, looks like the other teams have said let it ride.
Oh, okay. Voyagers have no changes.
Kingpins let it ride, and then nothing from the Dillos. So I would say that is a let it ride, as well as nothing from the Bears.
Yeah, nothing from the Demons or the Space Rangers. Yeah, Space Rangers did say good to go. So nothing from the Demons, though. So unless I get someone saying something real quick in your channel, even just a, hey, hold on, to prevent us. Okay, Demons say they're good. So all the majors teams said that they're good, except for the Sloths, which made their one change. So it's Hepcats are typing. Nothing from the Dillos or the Bears. So, we'll do the majors teams first then, since they're all ready to go. All right. Bless you.
Oh, man. Thank you.
Tight. All right. So will the Sloths even the series up with game number 2 win? That's the prediction. And we are about to find out. New York leads the series 1-0. Parquad, I took the first matchup of this one. Do you want to take the second one, since we both have a vested interest in
San
this?
Antonio versus Evil Dictator. I believe, isn't that Juosu's player? So this is Battle of the GMs?
Yes. Yep.
All right. Battle of the GMs here on the mound for game number 2. Let's see which one is truly the better GM. And it will be, oh, wow, the Sloths taking a big victory here over Evil Dictator and the Voyagers 7-1, limiting New York to only 2 hits. San Antonio side, big games here from Albies, Long Pipe, and then Lanakai there. On New York side, not much going on outside of a solo shot from Frank and Stero. San Antonio having a fantastic game, only giving up those 2 hits and the 1 earned. And then Shepard coming in for a perfect relief appearance. Dictator will take the loss, and Patey giving up 3 runs in relief. And your player of the game is going to be San Antonio.
You really put yourself in the hot seat there by leading in with who the better GM is, and then
it's okay.
Seeing the Voyagers lose. I'm just messing with you. Detroit Demons versus Lunar Base. Lunar Base is leading the series 1-0. So, also, by the way, this series being tied at 1, that eliminates the possibility for a 16-game stream. So that dream is dead, or that nightmare potential is dead anyways. So that's out the window. We're good. But Lunar Base leads the series 1-0. Is Detroit going to tie it up? Or will Lunar Base take a 2-0 lead here at home? It's going to be Vader Page on the mound versus Man O'Wright. And the winner of game number 2 between the Demons and the Space Rangers is the Lunar Base Space Rangers, who take a 2-0 lead, our first 2-0 lead of the night. And Lunar Base win it 7-6 on the back of 12 hits and a lot of late runs here, 3 in the bottom of the 8th. Kind of spiking that win probability chart downwards in favor of the Space Rangers. We got 2 RBIs each from Oatmeal III and Buoyant. Dubson goes 3 for 3. On the side of Detroit, 3 for 4 day for Vita. And then 2 runs scored for Halverson, and Apollo knocks 2 in. Delling gets the loss on the blown save for Detroit in relief, while Rove gets the win for Lunar Base, also in relief. And Mrs. Dirk gets their first save of the postseason. Matt Dubson will be your player of the game. So a 2-0 lead for Lunar Base, while the Slauson Voyagers are tied at 1 apiece after 2 games. All right, we do have the Dillos wanting to make changes, so we will quickly do those before we're heading into game number 2. Mudbone to Stopper. 8th or wait, it says 8th and later. Do you mean 8th and close or 8th or later? Double dub. I'm going to assume, since you said later specifically, it's 8th or later in lead. But let me... Oh, 8th and close, okay. 8th and close. Middle relief. Serve it up to middle relief. There you go. Serve it up to middle relief. Use more often. And then nothing. And then force to middle relief. Normal usage. And nothing. All right. Looks good. Dillos, let me know if I missed anything there or if there's anything else you want to change real quick. Bears are good. Kingpins are good. Hepcats are good. It looks like Majors teams are already speaking in their chat. That's good. Nothing from...
I will be right back. Give me 1 second. You
Okay.
had the next 30 seconds here.
All right. I'll keep going with the box scores then. Let's see. So we are going to head on into game number 2 between both of these semifinals matchups. The Brew City Bears versus the Chicago Kingpins. Brew City leads 1-0. Will the Bears take a 2-0 lead on the road, or will the Kingpins even it up in front of their home field fans? The winner of game number 2 between Brew City and Chicago is the Chicago Kingpins. Series is tied at 1, 9-3 victory for Chicago, who out-hit the Bears 11-7. 3 RBIs for Alyssa Jacob. Blanco goes 3 for 4, and Essence gets 3 more RBIs. Aza will get 3 RBIs on a 2 for 4 day from Brew City. No one else with more than 1 hit. Riggs will take the loss on the start for Brew City. Whit DeHealy's goes 5 shutout innings for Chicago. And Alyssa Jacob will be your player of the game. Big win for Chicago there to even up the series at 1 apiece. We'll head right on into the Dillos versus the Hepcats. Game number 2. Enoch Leiberth on the mound versus Hunter Jackson for KC. The winner of game number 2 between the Dillos and the Hepcats will be the Amarillo Armadillos. Another series tied at 1. We have 3 series that are all tied at 1 now. And that means we will be quick simming game 4 for all 3 of those. 6-1 is the victory for the Dillos with 10 hits. A 1 for 2 day with an RBI and a run for Ryan Lawrence on the side of Kansas City, and 2 walks as well. Not much else going on for the Hepcats lineup. The Dillos, though, have a 2 for 5 day with 2 RBIs from Ruiz the catcher. Bernard goes 2 for 4, and Dagon gets 2 hits as well. Leiberth gets the win on the start, 5.2 innings pitched, only 1 earned run. And it's going to be Hunter Jackson getting the loss for Kansas City in relief, not in relief, on the start for the Hepcats. And Enoch Leiberth will be your player of the game. So, minors teams, if you have changes to make for game number 3, do let us know. But we are all set to head on into game number 3 for all of these. We'll go ahead and finish off the day and save. It is a travel day, as home field changes for all 4 series as we head into September 28th. Do we have changes? Looks like Void Boys say no changes. Demons, no changes. Space Rangers, good to go. Sweet. All right, major teams are all good then, I guess. Sweet, so we can just head right on into the majors games. All right, so that means New York Voyagers versus San Antonio Sloths. Series is tied at 1. Xavier Crawford on the mound. 0.00 ERA in the playoffs.
He was in the pen in the
Oh,
first
okay.
series, so.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
that is very impressive if that's the case, and especially with no decisions. That's weird.
He and I swapped.
Gotcha. Okay. And then Lizzie Mitchell, 1-0 with a 1.5 ERA. Those will be your 2 starting pitchers for today's game. Series is tied at 1, the all-important game number 3. Who's taking the 2-1 lead in San Antonio? The winner of game number 3 is the New York Voyagers, who take a 2-1 lead after a 9-7 victory over San Antonio. 25 hits between the 2 teams, 3 RBIs for Bellick Cove, and 2 for Ifesh Cove, the DH. Then for San Antonio, we have a 3-hit day from Luigi Lanikai with 2 RBIs, and almost everyone else in the line, 6 other batters had at least 2 hits, and at least 4 of them had 1 RBI. Slumps getting 2 RBIs as well as 2 hits. Williams gets the win in relief, Parquad gets the save, and Mitchell will take the loss on the start for San Antonio. Neither starter doing all too well in this one in particular. And TGP will be your player of the game, going 1 for 4 with 2 runs and 2 RBIs.
All right, next up here we have for Lunar Base in Detroit, also tied at 1-1.
Nope.
Allegra Macker, are they not?
No. Lunar Base leads 2-0.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I was looking at the home road record. That's my bad. So, sorry, Lunar Base is up 2-0. Let's see if they can make the all-important 3-0, or if Detroit here can get a little bit of a battle back here. So, next up, we have Allegra Macarena against Hugh Mann. And Detroit will get their first win here to push it 2-1 after a 10th inning end with a walk-off home run by James Lutz off Beauregard Loeb to make it 5-3. On the offensive side here, we have the middle of the lineup really doing it all for Lunar Base, with 3 hits from Case and 2 from Cali Alvarez, where you have kind of everybody on the other side chipping away for Detroit as a multi-hit game from Lutz and Dogwood, but all but 1 batter getting on base. So congratulations to Detroit there. Going down to pitching here, we have Macarena will take the no decision, Benjamin the blown save, and then Rowe the loss. On Detroit side, Mann will take the no decision, but Delling will take the win in relief. Player of the game is going to be Justin Case.
So that'll do it for the majors. We do have changes possibly for the minors. I'm seeing a lot of these channels light up. Dill say let it ride. Kingpins want a stamina check, so we'll go through. I did warn all of the GMs beforehand that for stamina checks, we are only going to be checking those that have a yellow or red bar next to their name. So Lothbrok at 58, Simicalis at 58% for starting pitcher, 76 for relief pitcher. Whitta Healy's 26% exhausted, and my dog is at 69%, slightly tired. So if you want any specific pitchers, okay, no changes. All right, cool. Bears do have changes, though, so we'll go ahead and switch over to them. Hepcats, I didn't see anything in their channel, so Hepcats, if you have any changes that you want to make. I see Dag is typing. Okay, hold on. We'll do the Bears first here. Jerry Riggs from SP1 to mid-relief, avoid high leverage.
Yep, so essentially swap him and Gosman.
All right, Kelvin Gausman to the number 1 starting pitcher. There we go. All right, Punk, let me know if that looks good or if you're if I made a mistake there, and we'll switch over to the Hepcats. Okay, we need some strat settings changed. Strategy player set to override, -5 for stolen bases, -4 for base running, hit and run to -5, sack bunt to +4, And bunt for hit to +1. Actually, base running to -1. Okay. There you go. That look good, Dag? Okay, cool. Just because I'm paranoid, I'm going to go back in and make sure that those changes took. They did. And that should be good. Then Bears say good to go. All right. So I think then we are all set for Minors Game 3. Majors teams, it looks like a few of you have already messaged us in your channels, but if you do have any changes, please don't forget to let us know. Kingpins versus the Bears. You want to take this one, Parquad, or should I?
Yeah, sure, I
All
got
right,
it.
go for it.
Say, battle of the two teams I'm located to in real life closest, Chicago and Milwaukee here.
You and me both.
The Brew City Bears. Let's see if they can. Which team's going to take the lead here with Heiderscheid against Skippenson? And it will be a 4-3 victory for Chicago as they take the 2-1 lead over Brew City. On Chicago's side for batting, they managed to pull across 11 hits there with big days from Allard, Brown, and Murphy, as well as a 3 RBI day for Jacob there at the top of that 2-run home run. On Brew City's side, really nothing going for their offense, unfortunately, except from a 3-hit day from Argent, who also had all 3 of their RBI on that 2-run home run, as well as some additional baggage there. Chicago side, Heiderscheid will only go 4 2/3 to get the no decision. My Dog the win, McMorris Jr. the holding, Girl Boss the save. On Brew City side, Skippenson only went 3 1/3 with Pabst taking the loss and blown save. Player of the game is going to be Thomas Argent.
So Chicago takes a 2-1 lead. We have 2-1 leads everywhere, and we will have a fourth one here in a second between the Hepcats and the Armadillos. But the question is, which team is going to take that 2-1 lead? Will it be the Hepcats or will it be the Dillos in front of their home crowd? Bob Porkman on the mound for the Hepcats, Jeff Salad on the mound for the Dillos. The winner of game number 3, taking a 2-1 lead in the series, is going to be the Amarillo Armadillos, who take an 8-3 victory over Hepcats. 11-10 on the hits column. Hepcats having 2 errors committed there. 3 RBIs on a 1-for-3 day from Mitchie Mantle, the left fielder of the Hepcats. On the side of the Dillos, 3 hits each from McKenzie and Schuldiner, with Schuldiner getting 2 RBIs as well. Silver will take the loss for Kansas City in relief, while Salad will get the win on the start for the Dillos. Blahaj gets the hold, serve it up the save, and Curtis McKenzie will be your player of the game, going 3 for 4 with 2 runs scored and a walk. So that'll do it for game number 3. Every series so far it has a 2-1 lead, which is very peculiar. Well, I mean, I guess it's not that peculiar, but minors teams, if you have changes, let us know. We are going to go ahead and advance the day and save. And we'll start off with the majors teams yet again, since it looks like almost all of them have let us know of something in their chat, be it changes or otherwise. Voyagers do have pitching changes here. Parco is already good. Patey, middle relief, already good. Williams, already good. Middle void high leverage for Rosas. Or no, sorry, no, that should be Rosas to none specified, avoid high leverage. And then Anchovy to middle relief, avoid high leverage. I believe that looks correct.
Anchovy did not. You got to swing. Yep, there you go. It's Pete Williams, not Anchovy.
I'm just on top of everything today. Here we go. Void high leverage for Anchovy. Normal usage for Pete Williams. Use more often for Patey. And then none specified avoid high leverage for Roses. There we go. Okay. All right. So Voyagers should be good then. Enoch, let me know if I made a mistake anywhere there. Demons, never mind, no changes. Space Rangers do have a change to make. And that is to remove the batters faced from In the Dirt.
And then take setup off Rove as well. Are you muted by chance, AJ? I cannot hear you right now, AJ. Yeah, AJ, I don't know what's going on here, but I think you are either muted or something, but well, until AJ
Check.
gets back, how's everyone's playoff week going so far? I mean, Dub, you aren't wrong.
Okay. All right. Can you? You should
There
hear
he
me
is.
now.
Yeah, he's back.
I don't know what happened there. For some reason, my microphone just decided to stop working.
That sounds about right.
So I had to switch over to my headset microphone. So it might change a little. The audio might change a little bit there, but yeah, I'll have to figure out what's going on with my Quadcast mic later on. But yeah, game number 4 for both of these series will be quick simmed since neither are elimination games. Chaos Mike instead of Chaos Mike. All right. So back to game 4. New York does lead the series 2-1 against the San Antonio Sloths. It's going to be Kit Catcher back on the mound after a fantastic start in game number 1 versus Wendy Marvell with a much less than fantastic start in game number 1. And the winner of game number 4 between the Voyagers and the Sloths will be the New York Voyagers, who come within 1 game of heading to the World Series, which means we will be watching every single game for this series on the rest of the way out on today's stream. 6-5 victory for the Voyagers brings them within 1. They only need to win 1 of the next 3, which is huge for them. 2 RBIs each from both of the Coves on the side of the Voyagers. Cold gets a 3-for-5 day for the Sloths. Marvell will again take the loss because playoffs Marvell. Kit Catcher, a much less impressive start than their Game 1 performance, but still gets the win regardless. Parker will get a hold with 2.1 scoreless innings, and PDV2 will get their second save. Jordan Beecham-Reyes, though, will be your player of the game, going 2-for-4 for the Sloths with a run scored and an RBI.
All right, next up here we have Right into Dirt against Quinton O'Quarters once again. First game between the two was a pretty fantastic one, so let's see who will give their team either a tying it up there for Detroit, or if Into Dirt can give Lunar Base a 3-1 lead. Let's see what goes here in the next game. And it will be Detroit tying the series up at 2 with an 8-4 commanding victory against Right into Dirt and Lunar Base. Lunar Base's side, they did get 9 hits, but unfortunately just could not get that run support behind Into Dirt, with big games here coming from Oatmeal, Shanes, and Boyant. But on Detroit's side, a big game there for Burnside. 3 hits, 4 RBI, with multi-hit games from Granholm and Jackinson as well. But Burnside really carrying that team. Down to pitching here with Into Dirt only going 3 1/3, giving up 7 and taking the loss, while Detroit Quinton O'Quarters went 5, only gave up 3, but struck out 8 to get the victory. And your player of the game is going to be Larry B. Burnside.
So a series tied at 2 and a series with a 3-1 lead. So we will be quick simming game number 5 for the Space Rangers Demons, but we will be watching game number 5 for the Voyagers and the Sloths. So as we head to the minor leagues, let's check in to see if any of the teams have changes. Nothing from the Hepcats or the Bears quite yet. Dillos do have changes, so we'll go ahead and check in with them first. Mudbone, specifically. Stopper, 8th and close, high leverage. So we're just changing the secondary on Mudbone. Go ahead and save there. Kingpins, I want a stam check. So we will go ahead and do that right now. Hider Shide at 6%. Whit-Healy is 58. McMorris Jr. 62. And My Dog at 44. The rest are in the green. Let me know if you have changes, Kingpins. Dillos say thanks, so I assume that they're good. Majors teams, if you have changes for game number 5, let us know. Quick sim to season 50? No. We will quick sim the Lunar Base and Detroit game before New York and San Antonio. We will make sure to do that before heading into the streamed game, because it will be a quick result for game number 5. Although, shoo, it does mean that you will be waiting longer for game number 6's result. Okay, Kingpins do have changes. Mitch Goat Bisky to long relief. Okie doke. Nothing for the usage or secondary role, so I'm assuming that that's good. Jolene My Dog to none specified. Avoid high leverage. Okay, any other changes, Kingpins? Is it okay with you? All right, fair enough. All right, Kingpins say thanks. I think they're good. Dillos are good. Nothing from the Bears or the Hepcats. So I guess they just surrender their right to make changes, I guess, for game number 4. Even if you guys say hold on in your chat, that will be enough to stop me though. So please do let us know if you are making changes, or if not, I guess just hold on and we'll just sim. Gonna sim. Alright, September 29th, the Chicago Kingpins versus the Brew City Bears. The Kingpins do lead it 2-1. Will they take a 3-0, or sorry, 3-1? What's up?
Did you do the Chicago changes? I just saw them come in, I think, a minute ago. So
Yeah, I did.
okay.
Yeah,
Just
go
making sure.
Jolene. Yeah, we're good. So Kingpins Bears, Chicago leads 2-1. Now that you've made me paranoid, I'm gonna have to check.
That's, I'm just going through everything again to make sure, and that was the most recent one from the minors. I was like, hold on, I just want to make sure that we got it.
Yes, we are good.
All right, cool.
All right, so Kingpins lead 2-1. Will they take a 3-1 lead on the road here in Brew City, or will the Bears tie this one up at 2 games apiece? Game number 4 of the Kingpins Bears series is going to go to the Chicago Kingpins, who take a 4-2 victory and are now 1 game away from the World Series and 1 game away from revenge. Or no, not revenge, I guess. Bears were looking for revenge in this one from last season, where the Kingpins did win 4-3. It's looking like maybe it will be a little bit less close, but the Bears still have a chance to make this one very, very interesting. Ixon goes 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs for the Brew City Bears. Jacob goes 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs, both at the top of their respective batting orders. McMorris Jr. gets the win in relief for Chicago, while Yosh gets the hold and Girl Boss gets their second save of the postseason. Schlitz will take their first loss in relief for Brew City, and Notice Ixon will be your player of the game. A 3-1 lead for the Chicago Kingpins.
Yeah. So now let's see if Amarillo can take the 3-1 lead over Kansas City, or if the Hepcats will tie it back up here with their ace Tommy Vanderhonken back on the mound. No decision so far, but still no runs given up in the minor leagues playoffs. So let's see who takes a victory here to either even it up or make it a 3-1 lead. And the Dillos will explode here after the
Wow.
Hepcats scored 8 in the top of the
Wow.
ninth to almost come back. Wow,
Holy
that is
smokes.
insane. But the Dillos take the 3-1 lead in the series regardless, as much as the Hepcats try to come back.
I I just want to say I find it amazing how even though they scored 8 runs in the top of the ninth, the win probability just barely
Didn't
budged.
move. Yeah, that's insane. All right, going down here for Kansas City side. Lots of multi-hit games, especially from Livid, Marcus Garbanzo, and catcher Scudder, with Marcus having a 3 RBI day. But then on the Dillo side, lots of offense coming from them, with McKenzie having a 2 hit day, 3 RBIs, as well as Cash Thompson. And then you got Bernard and Wallace also having multi-hit games. So big offense there from both teams, but Dillo's bullpen was able to just hang on long enough after that ninth. Going down to the pitching here, unfortunately, Vinderhonken finally gets roughed up, only going 2 2/3, giving up 6. But the Amarillo side, Simmons having a fantastic start to it before their bullpen almost nearly gave it away. But your player of the game is going to be Don Marcus.
Wow, what a game that was. So we have 3 3-1 matchups, which means we will be watching every single game for every single series, except for Detroit and Lunar Base, in which case we'll be quick simming Game 5. But all the remaining games we will be watching live to make sure that no team misses out on their potential elimination or their potential clinching of a World Series berth. So we will head on to September 30th. Happy birthday, AJay. And we will be heading into game number 5 between the Space Rangers and the Demons. If they do have change, we'll be quick simming that one first, and then we will be heading into the streamed game for the Voyagers and the Sloths, and then the streamed game for both Miners games.
No, the Demons had changes.
Okay.
Then
I'll look at the Space Rangers too, so I'll do theirs first real quick. Benjamin to Stopper, 7th and close, and then high leverage. That's already at high leverage. Buzz to middle relief, used less often, and none. And then Mano right to 27 batters faced. And then just to double check, because I'm always paranoid with these. That's not the right person. There we go. 27 batters faced. Looks good. Now over to the Demons, who have Page getting to a starter hook of 1. Okay. Page. Hook as starter. 1. Is that it, Plague? Anything else? Alright. Alright. Voyagers do have changes for their game, so we might as well do that while we're waiting for any other Space Rangers or Demons info. Game 5 Pen. Pete Williams. I don't know why I just tried to move him to stopper. It's not how this works. Patey, middle relief, normal usage. Parco, middle relief, used less often. Rosas, middle relief. And AHL. And then Anchovy to long relief, AHL. That looks correct. Anchovy, long relief, Patey, Parker, Ross, or Rosas. Normal use, less avoidant. That looks all good. Alright. Oh, and Yanok even gave me a thumbs up from 2 minutes in the future, apparently. It says 6:46, but it's 6:44. Alright, so I think we're all set then Demons, no change. Other than that, no changes. Space Rangers didn't say anything else, so I think we're all good.
I think we
Alrighty.
are.
Well, let's go ahead and quick sim then. Lunar Base Space Rangers versus Detroit Demons, and see. I may be behind in time. Maybe. Maybe. I exist in the past. All right. Lunar Base versus Detroit. Do you want to take this one?
Yeah, I can take this one. So we got Man O'Wright against Vader Page. The series tied at 2. Let's see who can go ahead and get the advantage here. And it will be Lunar Base taking a 9-5 victory over Detroit. Lots of hits in this game, 23 in total, but Detroit not able to catch up. So going down to Lunar Base's side and those 9 runs scored, a lot of that came off the bat of IPO3, going 3 hits with 4 RBI, as well as multi-hit games here from Justin Case, Kirk Swerve Jr., and Matt Dubson. On Detroit's side, they also had some decent hitting, but unfortunately just could not back it up with that run support, with Granholm, Halverson, and Burnside having multi-hit games, as well as Burnside having 2 more RBI. Going down to pitching here, we have Man O'Wright taking the win, Lightyear the hold, and Benjamin the save. With on Detroit's side, Vader Page will take the loss, only going 3 2/3, giving up 7 runs, but only 5 earned. Player of the game is going to be Instantaneous Peter Oatmeal III.
Alrighty. Shouldn't have simmed any of those games. That's good. Okay. Alrighty. So that brings us to our first streamed game of the day. Actually, let me go ahead and save real quick. I think I saved, but just to be sure. Our first streamed game of the day, and we're going to make sure that BNN is off. There's a big importance there, and we'll pause to get rid of the widget for you all. But here we are. New York versus San Antonio. Game number 5 between these two teams. Voyagers lead 3-1 and are 1 win away from advancing to the World Series. As you can tell, very evenly matched teams on the head-to-head, with Sloss having the advantage in the first 4 positions and the pitcher. And then the last 5 are the Voyagers having the advantage over their Sloth counterparts. As mentioned earlier on, Sloths are looking for their first World Series appearance and potential win since season 34, while the Voyagers are looking to head back to the World Series after heading there and losing last season in season 40, and will be looking for their first World Series win potentially since season 25. Now, Parquad, this has been a interesting matchup. We said it was going to be close. But Voyagers are poised to potentially take a 4-1 victory in the series here, unless the Sloths can make some magic happen here in game number 5. What are you thinking going into this stream game? Are there any players that you're going to be keeping an eye on?
I mean, really, I think it's going to come down to those 3 through 5 hitters for both teams and seeing which one can edge out the other, as you know, the rest of the lineup is pretty much neck and neck from there on out. But I think that core middle of the lineup is going to be what's really going to give either side their breakout potential. But then also too, I mean, coming down to these 2 pitchers, I mean, which version of Evil Dictator are we going to get today? And same thing with San Antonio. It seems like unfortunately both of those pitchers can have some drastic swings in how they perform. So I think it's going to be an interesting one all around.
And both pitchers do seem to do well against each other's teams, both being undefeated in the regular season so far this season, and with very low ERAs against the other team to boot. But I think we're about ready to head on into the ball game. Game number 5, Voyagers having a chance to clinch it. San Antonio Sloths on the back foot. Elimination time potentially for them. They're looking to stave off elimination and force a game number 6. Who's going to win game number 5? Let's head on in and find out. It's going to be San Antonio hosting, with Sam Antonio on the mound starting us off. They will be facing off against James Dion, J.R. Frankenstero, and Squints Palladorus as the first 3 batters for this Voyagers lineup. As mentioned, we're going to get this scoreboard widget out of the way for you all. There we go. And we are ready to get on into game. I'll be taking us through the first 2 innings, and then Parquad will be taking us through innings 3 through 7, and then I'll be closing out with 8 and 9. So we're going to head on into the first pitch of the ball game being a ball, but the second pitch of the ball game will be put into play by James Dion here against San Antonio with a ground out to the shortstop. And that's going to be Slumps taking care of that one for out number 1. Frankenstero will ground out right to Zane Cold for the second out of the inning. Now Palladorus is going to get that one past both the first and second baseman out into right field for the first base hit of the ballgame. A single for TGP as well. First and second now with 2 outs for Bellet Cove. Walk drawn on the full count, and now it's going to be Crocs out. And already some dangerous situation here for the Sloths. And a deep drive to right, that is gone! Grand slam by Rock out with your Crocs out. And the New York Voyagers are going to take an early 4-0 lead here at the top of the first. It's going to be Joey Moose to see if they can keep it going, but a fly out to left will end the inning. And the Sloths have some work to do already as they head back to the bench. Bottom of the first with Albies, Vito, and Long Pipe due up. Evil Dictator to the mound, and Albies will pop fly that one out into foul territory. It's going to be Crocs out who puts the glove on that one for out number 1. Vito with a deep drive to left field all the way back to the warning track is TGP, and they will catch it at the warning track. Lenny Long Pipe goes down the strikeout, and a quick 1-2-3 inning, but a little bit of a scare for Dictator as Vito almost goes yard with it, but just a little bit shy. Top of the second now, it's Franklin DeMars who will start things off with a ground out to second, and now Ifej Cove the DH. A quick strikeout issued to Cove, and now will be James Dion as the top of the order rolls back around again. Dion center fielder will walk on the 3-1 pitch, and now it's going to be Frankenstero. Runner on first. Off for second goes Dion, safe. That second was stolen base. Frankenstero will walk on the full count. Another scary position for the Sloths here, but Palladorus will pop fly that out into foul territory, and that will retire the side. We head to the bottom of the second now. See if the Sloths can get any runs on the board. It's going to be Beecham Reyes, the left fielder, first up. And that will be a fairly easy can of corn for Dion, who looked like they barely had to move out there in center field for the first out of the inning. Cold will get on base. It's going to be an infield single as Joey Moose unable to make the throw over to first. And off for second goes Cold on the was a wild pitch, it looked like. Lanakai goes down on the 2-2 strikeout. Circle change gets them there. And Eschleman will strike out as well. Sloths get a runner in scoring position but can't do anything with it. 4-0 New York as we head to the top of the third, and Parquad will be taking us through the next few.
And starting it off here, we have TGP flying out into left field for the first out. Bellet Cove coming up now with 10 RBI here in the postseason. He will ground out the Slumps there at short. Crocs out coming up now. Let's see how they back up that grand slam. They will do that by striking out here as San Antonio gets through that inning. Now bottom of the third we go. Fresca leading off here for San Antonio. And Fresca will hit that one into right, but an easy fly ball there for the right fielder. Slumps coming up now. 2-2 count. And they will swing through that one, strike 3. 2 outs now for Ozzy Albies. And they will ground out to the second baseman, 3 innings down here. 4-0 still New York. Top of the fourth we go with Joey Moose leading off. And Joey Moose will laser that one into the right field gap, and that will get down for a leadoff double for the shortstop. Franklin DeMars, the batter coming up today. He will drop down a bunt and not beat it out, but will move the runner up to third. Ifej Cove coming up now. A fly ball to center. Will it be able to move the runner? They do, and he will score. Sack fly there for Cove there in the 9-hole, make it a 5-0 ball game. And Dion will hit a little dribbler to short, and that will end the inning. But New York adds 1 on here to make it 5-0. All right, San Antonio, their 2, 3, and 4 batters due up here. With Vito hitting that one hard into center, but it will die in center field there and be the first out of the inning. Lenny Longpipe, the only hot batter here, as he will continue there as he gets on with a 1-out single. Beecham Reyes coming up now, and they will hit a single there in the left. Back-to-back singles here with 1 out. Zane Cold now taking there at bat. Ooh, man, and that one will get, they get him there just barely at first, but he moves up the runners. And then that one is absolutely demolished there by Lanakai. 3-run home run here with 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth to make it a 3-5 ball game.
for San Antonio, trying to claw back here. Eshelman will hit a grounder to the pitcher, but he will beat it out there for a 2-out single. See if Fresca can do anything here. Oh, that will be a pass ball. All right, runner in scoring position now for Fresca. Fresca will hit that one into center, but it will be done. But San Antonio showing they're not out yet. Still getting that 3-run home run from Lanikai. A 3-5 lead here for New York. Frankenstero will go down on strikes here for the first out. Squints Pallador's coming up now. And he will hit that one as well. Is that another home run here in this ball game? Palladorus now makes it a 6-3 ball game for New York. Now is the always dangerous bat of TGP. But Komoro coming in now to replace San Antonio will get the first batter they're facing struck out. And Bellet Cove will finish that one there with a pop out to center. However, New York tacks on another one to make it a 6-3 ball game. Let's see if Slumps can do anything here to lead off the bottom of the 5th for them. And he will go down swinging there for the first out. Ozymandias Albies will come in here, and that will be a grounder to second for the second out. Big Vito coming up now, and that will be a 2-out single here, trying to get a late inning rally here. Long pipe coming up now, as Vito takes off and is safe at second. Oh, as Long Pipe watches that one go by, 4-3, still a 6-3 ball game. Top of the 6th we go with Crocs out leading it off here for New York. And he will hit that one into left field. That's going to get down for a lead-off double once again for New York. Joey Moose coming up now. And he will watch that one go by for a strike there, first out of the inning. Now we got Franklin DeMars coming up. They will hit a rocket to the third baseman, but that will be an easy out for the third baseman there. Ooh, but Cove hits that one down the line. That will bring across another run, another double. Makes it a 7-3 ball game. James Dion leading it off here, and that will not get down there, as that will be caught by the right fielder to end the inning. But another run tacked on by New York to make it back to a 4-run ball game. Beecham Reyes will lead it off and fly out to center for the first out. Zane Cold coming up now, and that one will be another absolute missile into right field. Once again, a home run. Just lots of balls leaving the park today. Now a 7-4 game as they're starting to claw back. Lanikai coming up. And they will watch that one go by for strike 3, out number 2 here. Now Eshelman coming up. Eshelman hits that one into the gap, and that'll be extra bases. Let's see if they keep him to 2, and they do. A 2-out double here for Brian Eshelman. Here comes Fresco. Let's see if they can do something with that runner in scoring position. And they will not be able to, as that one will be the final out. But again, they're chipping away here. All right, top of the 7th we go. J.R. Frankenstero. And Frankenstero hits that one into the gap. That's off the top of the wall. They're stretching it, and Frankenstero hit a lead-off triple here in the top of the 7th. Squints Palladorus up now. And he'll watch that one go past for the first out. TGP coming up. And that one, ooh, passed ball, but knocked down well by the catcher. As TGP absolutely unloads that one for another home run. Now making a 9-4 ball game, New York, as TGP parks that one into the stands. Bellick Cove coming up now. 1 out here in the top of the 7th, as Commander Shepard has come in. And he will bloop that one into left, but left fielder able to come on and grab that one for the second out. And Crocs out will watch that one go by for out number 3, but New York adds on 2 more to make that 9-4 ball game. Bottom of the 7th we go. Slumps leading it off. And Slumps will ground out to short for the first out. Albie's coming up now. And that will be skied to the mound for out number 2. Big Vito coming up now, and they will watch that one go by for ball 4. Lenny Longpipe now. Let's see if they can get something going. A little dribbler to third, but they will hold on to it, so he gets on here. 2 on, 2 out, bottom of the 7th we go. Let's see if they can get something going. Ooh, as Anchovy walks Beecham Reyes there to load the bases. Zane Cold will hit that one, but
The left fielder able to gather it there for the final out. Top of the 8th we go. Back to you, AJ.
All right, a 9-4 lead for the Voyagers, who are just on the cusp of making it back to the World Series. Moose will strike out for the first out of the inning, and DeMars is going to ground out to the shortstop on the full count. Now here's Ifesh Cove. Walk issued by Commander Shepard, and now the Voyagers have a base runner here in the top of the 8th. Dion's going to get that one past a diving Eschleman. And they'll bring up Frankenstero. First and second, 2 away. Joanna Salberg enters the ball game and immediately surrenders a base hit down the line and left. That's going to bring home a run. That's going to bring home 2 runs. 2 RBI double from J.R. Frankenstero as the Voyagers extend their lead 11-4 now. Paldoris grounds out, and that will end the 8th, but the Sloths have a lot of work to do in these last 2 half innings. Only 6 outs to work with, and they got to score 7 runs. Make that 5 outs as Lanikai will strike out the DH, heading back to the bench unhappy, and now it's going to be Eschleman. Ground out to the second baseman. Here's Fresco with 2 outs, base paths empty. Strike 3, Ilo Banchovi gets through the 8th inning cleanly, and the Sloths are really up against the wall here. Playoff hopes on the line. Voyagers will have one last chance to extend their 7-run lead, though I don't think they really need to add too much more on here. TGP flies out and Cove will strike out, so now it's going to be Crocs out against Salberg. Crocs out will fly out to left field. Easy grab for Beecham Reyes. Voyagers go 1-2-3, and we head to the bottom of the 9th. Last chance for the Sloths. They need 7 runs in this inning. We did see another team put up 8 in an inning earlier tonight, so it's not out of the realm of possibility, and Slumps will get them started well with an infield hit. Albies will face the new pitcher Rosas, who issues a walk, allowing Albies to get to first. First and second now for Vito. Strike 3, there's the first out of the inning, and now it will be long pipe the catcher. Strike 3 on a 1-2 pitch. Sloths down to their last out now. It's going to be Beecham Reyes. First and second, 2 outs. Drive to left field, out of here! 3-run home run for Jordan Beecham Reyes. The midseason acquisition coming in clutch with the long ball. And the Sloths reduce the lead down. Only 4 runs left, but it is 2 outs, and Zane Cold will ground out to end the game and end the series. The Voyagers will head back to the World Series for back-to-back seasons, looking to get their first World Series win since season 25. Who they will be facing, that will be determined later on tonight. It will either be Detroit or Lunar Base, but the Voyagers will be in the World Series on Saturday as they get the 11-7 win here. We won't spend too much time on the box scores since we do have other games to get to tonight, but a big game for Crocs out with 4 RBIs on the Grand Slam. Sorry, not the Grand Slam, the solo home run, and then why did I think he had a Grand Slam? Oh, no, he did have a Grand Slam in the first inning. I was looking at the double. My bad. Crocs out with the Grand Slam in the first inning. I called that. I should have remembered that. San Antonio will take the loss. Dictator will get the win. Crocs out will be your player of the game. And then that is going to end the first series of the evening. So we'll go ahead and save. And we'll head to the minors teams. Now, minors teams have been waiting for a bit here, and they do have changes. So let's go ahead and check in with them. Big congratulations to the Voyagers. Let me also adjust the crawler here. There we go. Okay. Alright, so we have the Hepcats, who have nothing yet. The Dillos do have changes to make. Mudbone to none specified, normal, nothing. Serve it up to stopper, 8th and close, and middle relief. And force to use more often. Alright. That look good, Dillos? Bears just sent a gif of a cat reaching out to the heavens with lightning strikes in the background.
I'm assuming that is Punk's way of saying let it ride.
That was my assumption too, so I'm glad that you and I are on the same page with that. It's a great GIF, by the way.
It's a fantastic gift.
Kingpin said stamina check. I'm assuming they said that before. I don't know if they said
Yeah,
that.
they said that a while ago.
Okay. Alright, stamina check. Scheduled starter is good. The other 2 starters are tired. Big shocker there. Girl Boss 44. McMorris 26. My Dog 58 as a reliever. And Yosh 33. So, Kingpins, let me know if there's any changes you want to make there. Dills are good. Hepcats haven't said anything. Bears gave the gift, so I think we're good there. Kingpins are typing, so I think they'll be the only other one that will be making changes here. Unless I hear something from the Hepcats. Which it doesn't look like they're typing, so. But the Kingpins are. So, okay, Girl Boss to none specified normal. They do have a secondary role of high leverage. You didn't specify whether there's a secondary role. I'm assuming get rid of it, but let me know. Yosh to none specified. Avoid high leverage. McMorris to none specified. Avoid high leverage. Also has the secondary role. Okay. I'm assuming you want to get rid of McMorris' secondary as well, so I'll just go ahead and do that. But let me know if that's incorrect and you want me to add the high leverage role back, which I think would kind of contradict the avoid high leverage usage option, so I think you're good.
Yeah, take this and get rid of it, so you're good.
Yeah. Alright, so save. And I think we can head on into our first game then, which will be the Kingpins versus the Bears. Ruggesy with the Heelys versus Kelvin Gausman. Chicago does lead the series 3-1, and they will be looking to clinch it here against the Bruce City Bears. Now the Kingpins did win this series, did win the semifinals last season against the Bruce City Bears in a much closer fashion, 4-3. As mentioned, the Bruce City Bears have a chance to make this very interesting if they do win the next 2 games to force a Game 7, which they will need to do if they are hoping to make the World Series here. Meanwhile, the Kingpins just need to win 1 of their next 3 games against Bruce City here.
Yeah, say this is one of those games where I think it kind of. I mean, I guess that's the gist of the playoffs. But both of these teams really close here, and we'll see if the Kingpins can hold on to their crown or not.
They are the reigning World Series champs. The Bears haven't won it since season 36. They'll be looking to get back to the big shows for the first time since then. Looks like both Space Rangers and Demons actually already have their changes, have their messages in for the next game. So we're already rolling with the majors, but we do have 2 games to watch in the minors first. So we will be. Let's go ahead and pause the play-by-play to make sure everything is set up nicely going in. So it will be the Chicago Kingpins versus the Bruce City Bears. And I believe you took the middle last time, so I'll be taking the middle this time, right?
Yep.
All right.
I will take the first and end.
All right. Ready to bring us on into game?
Yeah, well, we got Gausman facing off against Jacob to start this game off here.
We're dropping some frames real quick here. Let's go ahead and wait a sec for that to stabilize. Okay, there we go. Should be good. Alrighty.
All right, here we go. Leading it off here, as I said, Alyssa Jacob for Chicago. Full count here to the first batter. And that will be a ground out to second. Blanco coming up now, and they will draw the walk here against Gosman. 1 on, 1 out for Theo Allard, and Theo Allard will hit that one up the middle for a single. Runners at first and second now for Torres, and he will sky that one into right for out number 2. Crazy Mojito Cove coming up now, and he will hit that one to the second baseman for the out. Can't get it across, but that will end at the top of the first. Bottom of the first coming up now. Notice Ixon leading it off for Brew City against Ruggesy Witt DeHealy's. And he will single into right field to lead it off here for the Bears. Gonzalez Jr. coming up, and he'll swing through that one. Out number 1. Bowen Bearer coming up. And Ixon swipes second base here. Man, you're in scoring position. That one's hit, but right at the center fielder. Oh, they are going to send Ixon, and he will get there easily on that sac fly. Let's see if Vidal Valor can get them home, but no. He watches that one go by for a strikeout. First inning over. Nothing here still. It's top of the second we go now with a Bartholomew Brown. We'll watch that one go by for a strike. And out number 1. Ken Murphy coming up. And he will draw the walk there. Yvonne Essence here, and that one will go by for strike 3. Out number 2. Now Alexander coming up. And that will be out number 3 as Alexander grounds out to short. All right, bottom 2 here. We have Xander Aza leaving it off for the Bears. And they will ground out to short there for out number 1. Thomas Argent, the catcher, will watch that one go by for ball 4 on the full count. Runner at first, 1 out here. Oh, as they try to get the pick off, that ball bounces away. That runner will move up to second now as Patterson hits that one deep. And, oh, man, that was a deep play for the shortstop, but they get the out there for out number 2. But DeYoung able to single up the middle, but they don't send the runner. All right, runners at the corners here for Leg. And Leg will ground out on the, they'll ground out to third there on the fielder's choice. Top of the third we go. Over to you, AJ.
And it's going to be the top of the third and the top of the lineup for the Chicago Kingpins with Alyssa Jacob starting them off with a single. Pedro Blanco will grind to a fielder, double play though, as that will wipe the base runner off the board. Theo Allard is going to fly out to left in a quick inning for Kelvin Gausman, who faces the minimum amount of batters. It's going to be Notice Ixon starting things off in the bottom of the inning for the Brew City Bears with a quick ground out right to Pedro Blanco. Speedy Gonzalez Jr. is going to fly out to left, and they'll bring up Bone Bearer, the first baseman. Hitting .333 in the playoffs, but that average will fall a little bit on the strikeout. The 0-2 cutter from Witt DeHealy's will issue the third out of the third inning. Top of the fourth now, it's going to be Torres grounding out, and now here's Crazy Mojito Cove striking out on the 0-2 pitch, the sinker ball. And now Bartholomew Brown, the center fielder, will settle in. Strike 3 on a 1-2 pitch, the fourth strikeout on the game for Kelvin Gausman. We head to the bottom of the fourth, still no score here in Brew City. Vidal Valor Jr. with a base hit into left field. That will be a single for the second baseman. Xander Aza, the shortstop, gets on board with an infield single. Or sorry, no, that was a ground out. My mistake. Thomas Argent. Wow, I'm really on top of things today. He's going to get an RBI single. And the Bears will take a 1-0 lead here off the single by Argent. Patterson will fly out to straightaway center field, and now it's going to be Quentin DeJong. DeJong with a fly out into left field, and that will end the inning, but the Bears do take a 1-0 lead on the RBI single by Thomas Argent, the catcher. Bottom third of the order for the Kingpins here in the top of the fifth. It's going to be Kent Murphy, the second, flying out to Ixon, and now that will bring up Yvonne Essence. Essence grounds out right to the first baseman, throwing on to the pitcher Gausman, who was covering. And now Jalexi Alexander will tap a soft ground ball to the left-hand side and throw it on to first for out number 3. Still 1-0 Bears as we head to the bottom of the fifth. New pitcher enters the ball game. Mitch Goatbisky will be on the mound for the Kingpins. And we'll get Rhino Leg to ground out for the first out of the inning. Ixon will fly out to the left fielder. Essence puts the glove on that one for out number 2. Gonzalez Jr. with a sharp ground ball to the shortstop on the first for out number 3. Nothing across for the Bears. They still lead 1-0 as we head to the top of the 6th. Chicago, top of their lineup. Jacob is going to draw a walk on a 3-0 count, and that will bring up Pedro Blanco to the plate. Strike 3 on an 0-2 fastball from Flan Reynolds. Runner second on the second for the out. No relay throw, so just a fielder's choice for Allard. And Torres will ground out the catcher. Argent will take care of that one. That will end the top of the 6th. Bears lead 1-0, and they get a chance to extend their lead here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Quick ground out by Bearer brings up Valor Jr. with 1 out and no one on. Another ground out, this one to Allard. And Aza goes down looking on the screwball. 3-2 pitch. So we head to the top of the 7th. Bears still lead by a run. Kingpins will send Cove to the batter's box, and they'll ground out to second base. Not a lot of offense for the Chicago Kingpins through 6 and now 2/3 of an inning, as they're looking to get to the World Series, but the Bears pitching has just been phenomenal, holding them to only 2 hits so far through 7 innings, with the strikeout by Murphy second. We head to the bottom of the inning. Argent draws a walk on 4 pitches, and now will be Niall Patterson. Steal attempt by Argent. He will be safe at second base. And Patterson grounds out to the shortstop. 1 out, runner on second. Now it's DeJong. Walk issued on a 3-1 pitch. That'll bring up Rhino Leg. Leg goes down on the strikeout, and now Semifinals Jr. enters the ball game to pitch. And immediately gets Ixon to fly out to right field, and that will end the inning. We're at the top of the 8th with Parquad taking us the rest of the way.
Yes, a man, close game here as Essence almost gets out an infield single there, but that one will go for the first out. Alexander grounds out to the pitcher for the second out, and then Alyssa Jacob will ground out to the pitcher. Lots of soft contact here off of Flan Reynolds to end the top of the 8th. Bottom of the 8th we go. Number 2 batter, Steve Gonzalez Jr. leading off for Bruce City. He'll watch that one go by for ball 4, so man on with no outs here. Bone Bearer coming up, and he hits that one hard, but it will not be hard enough. Out number 1. Fidel Valor Jr. will not ground into the inning-ending double play, but will get the out at second. Aza continuing the inning, moving that runner up now to second. Argent. They will line that one in. Oh, that one will bring home another run. All right, Bruce City giving themselves a little breathing room here now with a 2-0 ball game. Patterson coming up, and he'll draw the walk. Bases juiced here for Quentin DeYoung. And they will get that one through into left, and that'll score 1. That'll score 2. All right, a 2-run single where he moved up to second as well. 4-0 now for Bruce City. Rhino Leg will pop that one up, but it will be caught by the left fielder. Our Bruce City now adds on 3 to their lead to make it a 4-0 ball game going into the top of the 9th. Pedro Blanco coming up here. He will ground out to first. Theo Allard. Theo Allard will ground out. Ooh, no, he beats that one out. All right. Got a little base runners here in the 9th. Ooh, but Torres swings through that one. Reynolds is now 1 out away from... Ooh, no, they bring out Reynolds for Young Cook. And Cook hits that one Cove hits that one deep, but that win will go to Bruce City, as now it will go here as a 3-2 wait, what? I'm so confused. Oh, okay, there we go. They narrowed it down there instead of a 3-1 to now a 3-2. But that was a good game. I mean, like you said, not really a lot of offense there until the very end of it, where Bruce City is able to give themselves a little bit of baggage there. Not much offense going on, but we have multi-hits from Allard there. 2 of their 3 for Chicago. And then Argent really leading that offense there for Bruce City. Ruggsy with the Heelys will take the loss. Gosman the win. Reynolds the hold. Player of the game is going to be Kelvin Gosman.
Alrighty. We are ready to head on into our last streamed game of September 30th. That being the Kansas City Hepcats versus the Amarillo Armadillos. Before we do that, a big thank you to both Wildcat Bandit and Draker for subscribing. Much appreciated to both of you. Hype train is active. Keep the subs a-rolling. And Amarillo will be looking to do what Chicago was not able to do in their game today, which is to clinch a spot in the World Series. They do lead the Hepcats 3-1 in this series. And we'll see the Dillos join the Voyagers as the second team to punch their ticket to the World Series today. Time will tell. Hepcats do seem to have the advantage on the head-to-head, but only narrowly, 4-3 with 3 ties. I don't think I've seen that many ties in a head-to-head matchup there. But the Dillos will be at home looking to clinch here with their 4th win in the series. A big thank you to Kirby B as well for cheering with all those bits. Much appreciated. Hank is excited, yeah.
Hank's always excited.
So Parquad, what's your take on this series so far? 3-1 in favor of the Dillos, who had to fight through a round 1 to get here. They didn't get the first round bye like the Hepcats did. Do you think this is momentum for the Dillos coming into this one, that they're able to get 3 victories off of the number 1 seeded Hepcats?
I mean, knowing how the Dillos operate, I think the fact that they are up 3-1 doesn't surprise me, really, just knowing that they're able to do it. But knowing they're up against Kansas City of all teams, I mean, that's a mountain you have to climb. The fact that they're here at 3-1 with, I mean, like you said, these offenses are so close together. It's really just going to come down to pitching, because I think the offenses will perform similarly. It just is going to come down to pitching at this point.
And for pitching, we do have Unac Liberth on the mound for the Dillos. 10-6 on the win-loss record during the regular season versus Hunter Jackson. 2-7 on the win-loss, but both with a similar ERA. 3.75 ERA for Unac Liberth and 4.04 ERA for Hunter Jackson. So not too dissimilar on the earned run average between these two pitchers. Both 27 years old. The win-loss record is still a very different story, but that's that happens. But I think we're ready to get on into game with the Hepcats versus the Dillos. Game number 5 between these two teams. Dillos do lead at 3-1. We'll see if they can punch their ticket to the World Series, or if the Hepcats will stave off elimination and force a game number 6. Here we go, the last game 5 of the stream. Dillos versus Hepcats. It will be Liberth on the mound versus Rochka, Livid, and Gunk Jr. to start off the game. We'll head on in with Webster Rochka first up against Liberth. The right fielder hitting 188 in the postseason so far, and with a ground out to Walker Wallace that will fall to 176. But a hot hitter in the playoffs is Leo Livid with a 438, now 471 average with that base hit. Gunk Jr. draws a walk, and Livid will advance to second. Erp Stevo now. Fly ball into center field, easily grabbed by Schuldiner. Now Ryan Lawrence steps in. First baseman is going to ground out. That's going to be a fielder's choice to the shortstop, retiring Gunk Jr. at second, and the side is retired. No runs on a hit for the Hepcats, and the Dillos will get their first look at the plate against Hunter Jackson with unique name, drawing a walk. Binker McTavish with a base hit into left field. The first two Dillos are aboard. Leonidas Ruiz, a loud crack at the bat. That was a no-doubter from the second it left. Leonidas Ruiz with a 3-run homer, putting the Dillos up 3-0 in a game that could propel them to the World Series. Curtis McKenzie is going to ground out to the second baseman. And now it's going to be Schuldiner. 1 out, no one on. And that one's going to get past Livid. Schuldiner will be on board with a single. Fly ball into left field. Kirby Bernard, will be the second out of the inning. And Dagon will be the third out of the inning with a fly out straight to Tony Gunk Jr. in center field. 3-0 Dillos off the long ball by Ruiz. And we head to the top of the second to see if the Hepcats can answer back. Don Marcus will ground out to Walker Wallace for the first out of the inning. Garbanzo, the DH, draws a walk on a full count pitch. Mitchie Mansell with a drive into center field, but it will be grabbed by Schuldiner, who ranges over to grab it. Catcher Scudder grounds out to second, and that will end the inning. We head to the bottom of the second to see if the Dillos can extend their 3-0 lead here. It'll be Cash Thompson, Walker Wallace, and Unique Name due up. Thompson with a quick ground out to third. That will bring up Walker Wallace. On a 1-0 pitch, they'll ground out as well. This one to Don Marcus, the second baseman. Unique Name draws a walk on a full count pitch, and the Dillos aren't quite done with this inning just yet. Off for second is Name, safe at second with a stolen base. But McTavish will ground out to end the inning, and we head to the top of the third and over to Parquad. Dillos lead 3-0.
And all right, here we got Webster Rochka leading off here as he will hit that one to third and not be able to beat it out for the first out. Leo Libid coming up now as he hits that one hard and deep, but man, the right fielder is able to get underneath that one for out number 2. Tony Gunk Jr. now at the bat, and he will strike out there, swinging through that one from Leiberth. Top of the third over, bottom of the third we go with Leonidas Ruiz leading it off here for the Dillos. And Ruiz will hit that one into left, and that will drop between those 3 converging fielders for a leadoff single. And then McKenzie will follow it up with a single. Runner's going towards third, and he will get there. First to third there for Ruiz. Schuldner hits that one into right. It's going to be caught for the out, and then they try to score the runner, but they get him at home on that absolute laser beam from Rochka out there in right field. So nothing will come of that with a runner at first and third, no outs, but Jackson gets out of the inning there. Top of the fourth we go now. Steve-O will ground out there to start. And then Lawrence will pop out there in right there for McKenzie. Marcus will hit that one into left, but unfortunately not deep enough as Schuldiner can get that one for out number 3. All right, bottom of the fourth now. Dillos coming up. Dagon leading off here. And he will, oh no, that was about to get down, but another fantastic play in right field by Rochka, trying to keep the Hepcats in this one all by himself there in right. And Wallace will also fly out into right to end the inning there. All right, 5th inning, here we come. Garbanzo leading it off here for Kansas City. And Garbanzo will pop that one out to the shortstop for the first out. Mitchie Mantle now taking their swings. That will be a deep fly out, but a fly out nonetheless. Out number 2. And catcher Scudder swings through that one. That will be the end of the top of the 5th here. Going down to the bottom of the 5th. Unique Name, the one batter, leading it off here for Amarillo. It's like Chris T-Shirt Cutter has now taken the mound for Kansas City as they walk Unique Name to lead it off. And Name doing what he does and steals another base. That's now 8 stolen bases in the playoffs for them. McTavish will ground out, but the runner's able to move up there. Ooh, oh man, Ruiz almost gets on there, but can't get the ball out of the infield, so that runner stays at third. Ooh, but McKenzie will get another single. That's now their second hit of the game, and that will be another run for Amarillo, making a 4-0 ball game. And Schuldiner will fly out to right there to end the inning. But, like I said, Amarillo attacks on another one, 4-0 to the Dillos here. Into the 6th inning we go with Rochka leading off. And that'll get down the leadoff single here for Rochka and see if the Kansas City bats can start doing something. And Livid will fly out to the shortstop. Oh, and they get him out at first. A pick off there to the runner at first, erasing that single. And then Gunk Jr. will go ahead and ground out. As you only got so many more outs to come here, Kansas City here. Need to start getting some offense if you want to stick in this one. Speaking of offense, though, Amarillo will draw off a leadoff walk there for Bernard. And then Bernard will swipe a bag there, their 7th stolen base of the postseason. Dagon will fly out to left, but it is deep enough. They are going to send the runner, and he gets there. All right, runner at third. And that infield single for Cash Thompson will drive them home 5-0 Amarillo. Walker Wallace coming up now as they bring in closer for the Kansas City side. Oh man, and Walker Wallace hits that one hard to the wall for an extra base hit with one out here. Runners at second and third for unique name. And he lines that one up the middle. That'll score at least one, make it a 6-0 ball game here for Amarillo. Baker McTavish coming in. And, another diving play in left, but that will still score a runner. Sack fly for McTavish there, make it 7-0 Amarillo. And Name again will take off, and he'll be safe. Ruiz coming, and he watches that one go by. His closer is finally able to get out of the inning, but they tack on 3 more in the bottom of the inning here to make it a 7-0 ball game after 6. Top of the 7th here starts off with a Steve-O walk as Lieberth is still in here. And just like that, he is now taken out for Garlic Bread, where his first batter he faces will line out to center. And that will be a hard hit ball into right by Marcus, but the right fielder is able to get underneath that one for the out. And the runner was moving on the pitch, but unfortunately that ball went right to the shortstop for out number 3. Bottom of the 7th we go now for Amarillo. Let's see if they can keep tacking on the runs with the hot-hitting Curtis McKenzie. And he will beat that one out as he just continues to get on base. And Schuldener hits that one hard, but that will be out number 1. Kirby Bernard taking their cuts now as Lave DePoint comes in. And Bernard will draw the walk. All right, runners at first and second, 1 out for Degon. And he will hit that one in the left. And, the left fielder's able to get under it. All right, out number 2. Cash Thompson up. Cash Thompson hits that one into right, but that will be the end of the 7th. Top of the 8th we go. Back to you, AJ. Let's see if Kansas City can do something here.
And the story of the game has just been solid pitching and big offense from the Dillos. Only 2 hits through 7 innings for the Hepcats. And Mitchie Mantle will strike out, leaving Kansas City down to their last 5 outs. There's the 3rd hit of the ball game for Kansas City. Gabriel Catcher Scudder, will get a base hit into left, but will be cleared off the base paths by a fielder's choice by Rochka. Livid fly ball into left, caught by the left fielder, and that will bring the Hepcats down to their last 3 outs in the top of the 9th, meaning they have to score at least 7 runs in that top of the half of the inning. Possibly more if the Dillos can add more on here. Wallace will ground out, and it's going to be unique name, drawing a walk on a 3-0 pitch from Lave DePoint. Baker McTavish will watch as a stolen base for unique name. McTavish will ground out, and now here's Ruiz. Runner at third, but with 2 outs, Ruiz will ground out to end the inning. Top of the 9th. Last chance for the Hepcats. They need a big inning here with 7 runs. Tony Gunk Jr. will ground out to the shortstop against a Workst. Steve-O will get a base hit. They'll be on with a single. And now with 1 out and a runner on, here's Ryan Lawrence. Grounder short, over to second, over to first, in time. The Dillos advance back to the World Series for the first time since season 35. The Amarillo Armadillos with a big day at the plate today, 7-0. That big 3-run homer in the bottom of the first got them started from Leonidas Ruiz, and they just kept on piling it on. 7-0 for the Dillos. Pitching was fantastic as well, holding the Hepcats to just 4 hits throughout. Lieberth will get... Sorry, go on.
No, I'll say, let's get those Dillos in chat, folks. Taking down Kansas City is never an easy thing. So congrats to you. But then, as always, congrats to Kansas City for getting here, as you got the 1 seed. Unfortunately, just was not your season.
Absolutely. A big win for the Dillos. Big upset, taking down that number 1 seed in Kansas City. Hepcats might have just had a little bit of rust from sitting out that first round, and the Dillos have momentum heading into the World Series. Lieberth gets the win with 6 shutout innings, and Jackson will take the loss. Both starters getting the decision for their respective clubs, and Lieberth will be your player of the game. So the Dillos win their series 4-1. New York wins their series 4-1 in the majors, and then we have 2 series that are at 3-2. Lunar Base and Chicago both have the advantage over Detroit and Bruce City respectively in 3-2 series. Both of those two clubs, Chicago and Lunar Base, just need to win one of their next two. Detroit and Brew City have to win both of their next two in order to advance to the World Series. But we'll go ahead and save and then finish off September 30th and head into October. It's October ball, and it is a travel day for both the minors and the majors as home field shifts yet again. Demons and Space Raiders did have changes to make, and we will be starting off with them first since they haven't had their turn in the spotlight just yet. So, Demons. Never mind, Demons don't have changes. I trolled. Space Rangers. Space Raiders do have changes, though. They want Marston to stopper. 7th and close. High leverage. They want Benjamin to middle relief. Use more often, high leverage. And Allegra Macarena to 27 batters faced. Alright, Dirk, does that look good? I'm going to go ahead and double check the player strategy for Macarena. Yep, 27. Looks good. Okay, Buzz to none specified, normal none as well. Okay, we'll do. None. Alright, how's that look?
I believe you are good. But yeah, we'll see what they say. Trying to follow along as you do it while
Yeah.
double checking. I don't envy you guys, the main hosts that do this, because that is nerve-wracking.
Yeah, gotta make sure that everything looks good. Looks like Kingfin's already messaged us in their channel, but Bears, if you have changes to make, please do let us know since you are next up. But in the meantime, let's watch another Majors game. How about it? Detroit Demons versus the Lunar Base Space Rangers, and Lunar Base leading 3-2. Parquad, you'll be taking us through the 1, 2, 8, 9 innings for this one, so you'll be starting us off. But any thoughts on this matchup going in? So Lunar Base took a 2-0 lead, then Detroit won 2 in a row to even it up, and then Lunar Base took Game 5. So it's kind of been back and forth between these two teams, fairly evenly matched. What's your thoughts on this matchup between these two?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of seemed like Lunar Base may have steamrolled to an easy victory after going up 2-0, but as Detroit always shows, they got a little fight in them. So I think it's going to be, I think it's probably going to go down to Game 7 where Detroit's going to take this one, is my assumption, because they want to make us be here as long as possible.
All right, fair enough. I mean, the good news is we've watched 3 games so far, right? Worst case scenario is both of these series, well, I shouldn't say worst case scenario, but I mean like longest case scenario is both of these series go to Game 7. So longest scenario is we stream 7 games, which, I mean, we stream 5 games normally, and we're cruising right now, so I mean, I'm fine if we have 4 more games to watch, but we might just have 2 more. We'll see.
I mean, yeah, it's always, as long as they're exciting games, I think that's all we can ask for.
Absolutely. As long as both teams have fun and try their hardest, that's what matters. Hugh-Man on the mound versus Allegra Macarena. Parquad, take us away.
All right, Macarena v. Granholm leading it off here to start this game. Let's see if Detroit can get some runs on the board early, put the pressure on. All right, leading it off here. Let's see what happens as Granholm will hit a rocket to the second baseman, but that will be out number 1. All right, and then Lutz will ground out to the first baseman for out number 2. Halverson coming up now. Halverson will single to keep the inning alive. All right, we got Burnside, who's been the big bat for Detroit, as he hits that one into center, but the center fielder is able to range under that one for the out. All right, bottom of the first we go. Rake in the Lake leading it off for Lunar Base. And Rake in the Lake will pop that one up to the second baseman there for out number 1. Arthur Morgan taking his cuts now, as he'll watch that one go by. And, they try to get the throw down to first. They do not get him. And then just in case, we'll drop that one in front of the center fielder. Runners at first and third, one out here for Luna base. Callie Alvarez, who draws the walk. Bases juiced for IPO3, the hot hitter. Oh, and then a botched ball at first will draw in a run there. Bases still loaded on that error. Allison Chains coming up, and they watch that one go by. 4 strike number 3. Out number 2. Kirk Swerve Jr. coming up now, and he'll swing through that one as Man is able to get out of it with only giving up the 1 run. All right, let's see if Stellan Apollo can do anything here leading it off. And they almost beat out that one, but out number 1 it will. And Jackinson swings through that one, out number 2. Here comes McSticks now. And McSticks will hit that one, but a sliding catch in center field by Boyant to end the inning. All right, bottom 2 we go. Lunar base trying to stack on some runs here. And they will start it off with a fly out to center field for out number 1 by Boyant. Dubson coming up now. Dubson will hit that one hard into center, but it will be caught by the center fielder. Breaking the Lake will watch that one go by for out number 3, and that will be the end of the inning. Top of the 3rd we go, and back to you, AJ.
It'll be Casey Vita starting us off in the top of the 3rd here against the Legend Macarena. Quick ground out to first. Maple Dogwood will get that one down in front of the left fielder Chains. The runner at first, here's Granholm. Granholm strikes out to bring up James Lutz, the DH. Fly ball into center field, barely moving is Boyant. The feed says he makes a running catch, but that looked more like a sauntering catch to me. No runs in the top of the 3rd. We head to the bottom half of the inning. Arthur Morgan will pop fly out into the left side of the diamond. I don't know where I was going with that one. Foul territory, left side. Case will be the second out. And now Alvarez will draw a walk with 2 outs. Over the 3rd will draw a walk as well. Back-to-back walks by Hugh Mann. 3rd and 4th walks of the game issued by Hugh Mann. Chains will get an infield hit, and now the bases are loaded with 2 away. Swerve Jr., pop fly right side, and that will end the inning. Lunar base threatens with 2 outs. Get 3 runners aboard, but nothing doing and nothing across. Top of the 4th. Alverson grounds out to 3rd base, and that'll be out number 1 here in the top of the 4th. Burnside will get on board for an infield hit. Stellan Apollo strikes out, and that's going to bring up Robbie Jackinson, the shortstop. Burnside on first. And a quick ground out to the second baseman ends the top of the 4th. Bottom half of the inning, Lunar base looking to add to their 1-0 lead. It will be Boyant, Dubson, and In the Lake due up. Boyant goes down on the full count, swing and a miss. Strikeout number 5 on the day by Hugh Mann. Dubson gets that one past the shortstop, and they'll be on board with a single. Lake in the Lake grounds that to the first baseman, steps on first, and that will be out number 2. Morgan with a base hit. That's going to be, looks like possibly a triple. Yeah, it will be scored a triple. Sometimes that's a double and then advancing to 3rd on the throw. But another base hit by Case will drive in another run. So the RBI triple by Morgan, followed by the RBI single by Case, makes it 3-0. Alvarez grounds out, and that will end the Lunar base 4th. 2 runs on 3 hits for the Space Rangers, and we hit to the top of the 5th. Detroit. McSticks grounds out, and now here's Vita. Vita goes down, strikeout, and that will bring up Maple Dog with the first baseman. Strike 3, and then the Demons go down in order. Bottom of the 5th now, Lunar base. They lead 3-0. They added to their lead last inning. Will they do it again this inning? They start off well with IPO3 advancing to first on a walk. Logan Bay Bader enters the game. I'll close the book on Hugh Mann's day. Allison Chains, base hit to left. Kirk Swerve Jr., base hit to left. RBI for Kirk Swerve Jr. It's going to be a double. 4-0 Space Rangers. Blair Boyant, still no outs in the inning. There's the first one. Blair Boyant will strike out. And now Matt Dubson. 2 runners in scoring position, 1 away. Deep drive to left, almost back to the track as Burnside makes the grab. It will be a sac fly and another run scored for Lunar Base. Back to the top of the order, raking the lake. Fly ball into the right field, it will be caught. We head to the top of the 6th now. Lunar Base again adds to their lead. It is 5-0 for the Space Rangers. Travis Granholm grounds this one to the shortstop. That's going to be out number 1 here. James Lutz with a ground out as well. Now Keegan Halverson. Base paths empty, 2 away. Strike 3, Halverson. Bottom of the 6th now. Space Rangers lead 5-0, and it will be Morgan, Case, and Alvarez. Morgan starts them off with another base hit. 8 hits on the day for the Lunar Base. Oh, Morgan gets caught in a jam. Thrown out at second. Took too much of a lead at first and will be wiped off the base paths. Case will ground out. Now here's Alvarez. Strike 3. And after Morgan gets on first, a run down followed by 2 quick outs will end the inning. Top of the 7th. Larry B. Burnside for the Demons. He's going to ground out to the first baseman Alvarez. Stellan Apollo now. Another ground out. This one to second. Robbie Jackinson. 2 outs, no one on. Base hit for Jackinson all the way into the left field corner. That's going to be a double for Robbie Jackinson, the shortstop. Scotty McSticks with a runner in scoring position. Deep drive to center field all the way back. Almost to the track as Buoyant makes the grab in center field there. And it's time for the stretch as Lunar Base leads 5-0. It will be a new pitcher, Delling. O'Meal the third is going to ground out to start off the bottom of the 7th for Lunar Base. Allison Chains now. Grounder short over to first in time for out number 2. And now here's Kirk Swerve Jr. Fly ball into straightaway center field, and this is going to do it for the inning. We head to the top of the 8th. Lunar Base leads 5-0. Over to you, Parquad.
All right, Detroit, only 6 outs to deal with here. Let's see if they can try and get some offense going. And that'll help with a leadoff walk here for Vida. Maple Dogwood coming up now, and he smokes that one into right. 2-run home run here. All right, Detroit's trying to get a late comeback going, cutting that lead to only 3 now. Granholm leading it on, going back to the top of the order, and he will draw the walk. All right, Mrs. Dirk having a little bit of a rough go over here. And then that one will be hit hard, and that one will leave. All right, back-to-back, well, not back-to-back, but 2 straight 2-run home runs to make it a 1-run ball game here in the top of the 8th. Keegan Halverson now coming up as they will bring in a new pitcher in John Marston, as Halverson will go down swinging there to get the first out of the inning, very much needed. Larry B. Burnside coming up, and they'll watch that one go by for strike number 3. Out number 2, though, Stellan Apollo coming up. As they will watch that one go by as well, as they get 4 runs, and then Marston comes in and strikes out the next 3 to end the threat. But now, all right, it's a 1-run ball game, so we are right back into this. Let's see if Frank Delling can keep the door shut on Lunar Base to give Detroit a chance here in the top of the 9th. All right, 2 quick outs here for Lunar Base. Let's see if Delling can get raking the lake, but he will single into left. A 2-out single here to keep the inning alive. Arthur Morgan coming up now. And he will go down on strikes. All right, top of the 9th we go. 3 outs remaining to get at least 1 run for Detroit. And they've got Jackinson leading it off here against Marston. And he will start that with a single. All right, runner at first, no outs here for McSticks. But McSticks swings through that one for out number 1. Vida coming up now. And Vida swings through that one. Final out here. Maple Dogwood, the last chance for Detroit. And he will watch that one go by as Marston is able to give up only 1 hit and then strike out 6 batters to hold off Detroit. Man, that was quite the crazy end of that game there, as they came so close. And yet Marston came in and shut them down.
Season 14! Season 14 was the last time that Lunar Base was in the World Series. Well, as Florida, but still.
But yeah, say congrats to Lunar Base, and I mean honestly, got to give a hand to Detroit too, coming back and really almost making this this series go to Game 7. But unfortunately, the ending there was not in their favors. Man will take the loss, Macarena the win. Marston having one of the most clutch saves of the postseason with that, as that's really kind of all you can hope for. And player of the game is going to go to Macarena, but I mean I think I'd give it to Marston with that momentum stopping. That would be that's like a big, huge save for Marston there to keep Lunar Base moving on.
You know, it's funny. Season 14 and season 41, palindromes of each other there. You know, it's gonna kind of suck when they won't make it back until season 114. I'm assuming that pattern will hold, right? Probably not. I'm just joking. Litterbase knows I'm joking. but big congratulations to the Space Rangers making it back to the World Series for the first time since season 14 and looking to win their first ever World Series. Again, the last time that they were in the World Series, it was Florida Space Rangers. Like this team has gone through now 2 rebrands since their last World Series. So it is a really big deal for these guys to be making it back there. And they will be facing off against the New York Voyagers, a really tough team in their own right. So we'll see which one comes out on top this Saturday. Before we go into the last or the next game here, I do want to do playoff coverage for both these 2 series for all those fans of the major series. Justin Case gets the series MVP for Lunar Base versus Detroit. Case with 9 hits and a 360 average on the series for Lunar Base. For this Lost Voyager series, it's going to be J.R. Frankenstero, who went 350 average, 7 hits, a home run, and 3 RBIs in 20 at-bats, 700 slugging. Very impressive. So congrats to J.R. Frankenstero and Justin Case for being series MVPs. But we got one last series to determine, that being the Brew City Bears versus the Chicago Kingpins. Chicago leads 3-2. We'll go ahead and save real quick before we make some changes here. Kingpins want a stamina check. Bears just showed another gif of a cat getting struck by lightning. I don't know why it. You guys realize you aren't facing the Hepcats, right? Why are you showing cats getting struck by lightning? I don't know.
It's storming out where Punk is. So he said he typed in storm, and that was the first thing that came up. Okay. That's appropriate.
Okay, sure. I mean, I feel like it should be like a mobster getting struck by lightning if they're looking for like a gift for against the Kingpin rivalry here. But anyway, scheduled pitcher Hyder Shy is at 100%. They're good to go. What am I looking at here? Semifinals, 57% of the SP, 87% as a relief pitcher. McMorris Jr. is at 69% nice as a relief pitcher, 52 as a starting pitcher. No one else is in the yellow or red besides the 2 starters that aren't scheduled to pitch today. So let me know if you have changes, Kingpins. Oh, that cat isn't getting hit by lightning, it's shooting lightning. I see.
Cat's causing the storm.
I see. Both your brackets are busted. That's unfortunate. Okay. So, Girl Boss to stop. I mean, my bracket was busted after round 1, but you know that's how it is. Stopper, 8th and close, and high leverage for Girl Boss. Yosh to middle relief, normal. Looks good. My Dog to long relief. I assume well, it was avoid high leverage, and now it's switched to normal. Do you want normal or high leverage for My Dog? And then Goat Biscuit to middle relief. Normal, long relief. Okay. Normal for My Dog. Okay. Good stuff. So everything looked good, Kingpins? Speak now or forever be content with the results. Okay, they said thanks. I think we're good then. I think we are good. Bruce City Bears versus Chicago Kingpins. Kingpins took a 3-1 lead in the series. Bears won game number 5 to draw it to 3-2. Will the Bears win game 6 to force a game 7, or will Chicago close it out here in game number 6? The Amarillo Armadillos are waiting for the winner of this series. Who's going to win it? Who do you think is going to win game number 6, Parquad, between these two teams?
Oh, man. I don't know. It's going to be a tough one with two pretty decent pitchers on the mound right now. But, I mean, as much as I love Punk Steel and Bruce City, I think it's going to be real hard to overcome Chicago here at this point.
All right. Well, I gotta take my my home team. Well, not home. My home team would be the Chicago Kingpins, but my players' old team, my alma mater, the Bruce City Bears. I'm gonna like counteract the possible streamer's curse so that we both have a team here that we're predicting. And I think we're about ready to head on into game with the Bruce City Bears versus the Chicago Kingpins. I'll be doing 1289 this one, so it's going to be Jiff Skipson on the mound for the Bears versus Vincent Heiderscheid for the Chicago Kingpins. We're ready to head on into game. I'm just pausing the play-by-play just to make sure everything looks good. And that it does. So we are underway here in Chicago. Ixon will be the first batter and already drawing a full count against Vincent Heiderscheid. Full count pitch will be a ground out to the first baseman for the first out of the ball game. Bone bearer. Fly ball into left field. It will be caught by Essence. And now Aza will step to the plate. 2 outs, no one on. Grounder back to the pitcher in time for out number 3. Side is retired and we head to the bottom of the first. No hits, no runs for the Bears in the first half of the inning. Alyssa Jacob first up against Jiff Skipson. Jacob grounds that to second, on to first for out number 1. Here's Pedro Blanco. Blanco grounds that. Diving first baseman thrown on to first, but not in time. It will be an infield hit. Grounder to second, over to second, back over to first. Beautiful 4-6-3 double play turned by the Bears defense. And that infield hit does not come back to punish them. We head to the top of the second. Gonzalez Jr. is going to drop that one right in front of Bartholomew Brown in center field. Vidal Valor Jr. will draw a walk, and that will bring up Argent. Argent, the catcher, grounds out to short, over to second, over to first, 6-4-3 double play. But there are no outs in the inning, so those will be the first 2. Patterson will ground out, meaning no runs will score on 1 hit. We head to the bottom of the second. No runs so far with a 1 hit apiece for both teams. But Gleyber Torres will make it a second hit. That'll be a single, but he gets thrown out, advancing to second on a very shallow hit. That was very surprising that they chose to run there. Coven Brown will ground out back-to-back to end the inning, but we head to the top of the third. No score here in Chicago.
All right, top of the third we go with DeYoung starting it off, the leadoff single here for Bruce City. Runaway coming up now, and it's a rocket to the first baseman. They get the out at second, but the speed of Leg will keep them from getting a double play. And then speaking of the speed, Leg will swipe second there. As Nixon watches that, notice Ixon will watch that one go by for strike number 3. And then Bearer checks his swing, but will go down on strikes as they can't get anything with that runner. Bottom of the third we go. Murphy leading it off here for Chicago. All right, Murphy will start it off with a leadoff single. And then Essence draws the walk. Alexi Alexander, here we go. And they'll swing through that one out number 1. Alyssa Jacob now the best batter currently in the lineup for Chicago. As she will fly out to center field. Pedro Blanco, and he hits a laser down the left field line, and that'll score 1. They do send the second runner, and that'll score 2. Chicago takes the 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the third. Theo Willard will fly out to center to end the third inning, but Chicago jumps out first, 2-0. here after 3. Top of the 4th, we got Xander Aza leading it off for the Bears. And he'll watch that one go by for a walk. Runner on first here, no outs for Gonzalez Jr. He tries to lay down the bunt, and it does not happen, but he does there, but they get the lead runner. So not much really coming through with that one. Oh, but that one will get just over the head of the shortstop for Valor Jr. Runners at first and second, 1 out. Ooh, and Argent watches that one go by. Niall Patterson taking their swings now. And that'll be a walk. Bases juiced here for Quentin DeYoung. And they will ground out to short to force a play at second for the out. Lots of base runners there, but they can't get anything from it. Bottom of the 4th we go. Gleyber Torres leading it off for Chicago. And they will draw a walk to lead off the inning. Cove will hit it to the shortstop, but they can't get the out at second, so they just go first. Brown coming up, and he'll watch that one go by for a strike. 2 outs here for Murphy. Murphy will bloop that one into right. They don't send the runner, so runners at the corners now for Essence. And that will be the end of the inning. All right, Skippenson's able to get out of that one without any further damage. Top of the 5th we go. Rhino Leg leading it off for the Brew City Bears. And he will swing through that one for the first out. Notice Ixon now coming up, another speedster. And he'll swing through it as well. 2 gone here for My Dog. As Bearer comes in now. And he'll hit that one on the left field line, but third baseman able to make a great play for the final out. Bottom 5, here we go. Alexi Alexander leading it off for Chicago. And Alexi Alexander will ground out for the first out. Alyssa Jacob coming up now, and they'll hit that one hard into center, and that one will leave. Alyssa Jacob with their 4th home run of the postseason to make it a 3-0 ball game here for Chicago. Pedro Blanco leading it off, or taking his swings now, and he'll take a 4-pitch walk to get on first. And then Allard will get walked, back-to-back walks now for Skippenson. As Torres will bloop that one up the middle, they send the runner, and they will score the runner. 4-0 Chicago. As Jerry Riggs now coming in. And Riggs gets their first batter, Cove, to pop out there to the third baseman for out number 2. And then Brown swings through it, so Jerry Riggs able to come in and shut them down. But Chicago doubles their lead to a 4-0 ball game now. Top of the 6th, we got Xander Aza leading it off. And he will hit that one into right, but they will not get that one there, as that will be the first out. However, Gonzalez will go ahead and get a single there with 1 out. Valor will draw the walk. Thomas Argent up now with runners at first and second, 1 out here. And he will hit that one as that one gets down. Bases loaded, 1 out here for Niall Patterson. And he will pop that one into right, but not deep enough to send the runner. Quentin DeYoung coming in now. And oh man, a diving play by the second baseman to save runs, as a fantastic play there by Theo Allard to keep this a scoreless game in favor of Chicago. Kent Murphy will go ahead and start it off with a leadoff single. Evan Essence will go ahead and strike out there for the first out. Alexi Alexander will go ahead and get plunked. All right, runners at first and second now. 1 out. And that'll be a walk to Jacob. Bases juiced, 1 out for Pedro Blanco. And Blanco will get a single into left. That will score another run, make it 5-0 for Chicago. Theo Allard, an infield pop-up there. A little infield fly rule. Gleyber Torres up now. They'll hit that one into center, but right to the center fielder for the final out of the inning. Top of the 7th we go, and Chicago has now made it a 5-0 ball game. Brew City's offense really needs to start getting going if they're going to have anything happen. Leg will start it off with leadoff walk. Bowerbottom will come in for the pitcher, and Leg swipes second. Notice Ixon coming up now, and they'll hit that one into left, deep, so they will send the runner, and they are safe at third. 1 out, runner at third for Bone Bearer. Oh, no, but he can't get that one out of the infield. That's unfortunate. And then Xander Aza lines out to center field. Unfortunate, as no runs come across for Brew City. Bottom of the 7th here. Crazy Mojito Cove leading it off. And he will fly out to left field. Bartholomew Brown coming up. And he will get a out there at first. Kent Murphy will watch that one go past. Top of the 8th, only 6 outs for Brew City here. They got a lot of offense to cover. Back to you, AJ.
And down 5 runs, the Brew City Bears will start off the top of the 8th with a fly out to Speedy Gonzalez Jr. by Speedy Gonzalez Jr. Vidal Valor Jr. will fly out as well. That one out to Essence and left. Argent will draw a walk, but with 2 outs, will they be able to bring him across? Ooh, pitch in the dirt. Nothing happens though, and Patterson will strike out on the sinker ball. 5-0 Kingpins. We'll see if they can add to their lead before the Bears' last chance at this one. Base hit to right for Essence. Kingpins starting off the 8th well here. It's going to be Alexander, runner on first. Runner second, and they hold on to it. Valor Jr. unable to make the play, and that will be an infield hit for Alexander. Jacob goes down the strikeout, and now here's Blanco. Ooh, pitch in the dirt, but Argent keeps it in front of them. Walk issued to Pedro Blanco, and now it's going to be Theo Allard. Bases loaded. Oh, walking in a run is Lotso Heineken Bear. Theo Allard to first base. Torres now, fly ball into left field. Oh, geez, sprinting over to the foul territory. And that's the catch made, but on the wild pitch, Jacob will score, and now Cove advances to first on the walk. Bases loaded for Brown, strikeout. But the Kingpins add 2 more, sending 8 of their 9 batters to the plate. We head to the top of the 9th, last chance for the Bears, and the last chance for their playoff hopes. Quinton DeJong, pop fly out into foul territory, Rhino leg. Gets that one past the shortstop and the third baseman for a single. Mitch Goat Biskey enters the game looking to close the books on this game and the series and send the Kingpins to the World Series. Walk issued to Ixon, but Bear strikes out. Last chance, it's Aza. Last out. Grounder back to the mound, over to first. Kingpins head back to the World Series. The reigning champs will get a chance to go back to back. They will have to face off against the Dillos on Saturday, but they will have a shot at it. 7-game series coming at you on Saturday between the Kingpins and the Dillos for the title and the ring. Kingpins with a big series. They had a little bit of a stumbling point in game number 5, but they did come back to win it in game number 6 and in commanding fashion too, with big hits at the plate, 11 of them to plate 7 runs against the Bears, whose offense just was not able to muster anything against this Chicago pitching staff. Pedro Blanco will be the player of the game, going 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs. And a big win for Chicago. We'll go ahead and save the game. Check out the series MVP, which is Alyssa Jacob for the Kingpins versus the Bears, going 375 for the batting average. And then for the Hepcats Armadillo series, it was Curtis McKenzie who went 632, 12 for 19 with 5 RBIs for the Dillos to help advance them to the World Series. So a big congratulations to the Dillos, the Kingpins, the Space Rangers, and the Voyagers for advancing to your respective World Series on Saturday. All right. Go ahead and save once again and then start the upload. And that was actually not all that bad of a semifinals stream. We how many games did we stream, Parquad? Was it 5?
So we watched one game for the New York one, right?
Yep.
We watched one there. We watched one with the Dillos. I think it was 5.
Yeah, I think we had 2 for the Chicago and Bears series, and then one for all the other ones. Like the first game that we watched was the elimination game. So overall, for a possibility of 16 games to stream, 5 isn't bad. 5's a normal stream.
Definitely. We will take that for sure.
Absolutely. But that's gonna do it for our stream games, and now we have the classic ask the booth. If anyone's got questions on the upload, while we're doing the upload, I should say, not any questions about the upload. But Parquad, I got a question for you. Who do you think are going to win these two World Series on Saturday? We got the Voyagers versus the Space Rangers, and the Dillos versus the Kingpins. Who are your picks to win it?
I think the least amount of times I pitch will make the odds for New York better. So as long as I don't pitch, I think we'll be good.
All right.
But then, man, the World Series between the Dillos and Chicago, I think, is going to be very interesting because the Dillos, I would say, have the hot hand right now, especially beating Kansas City like they have. And it's honestly, as much as it pains me to say it, I think the Dillos have a good shot of taking down Chicago.
It's going to be a tough road for the Dillos, especially considering that they're facing off against the reigning champs of the Chicago Kingpins. And Zodiac did mention in chat that there's an update on the Miners Playoff Challenge. 5 perfect entries remain belonging to P. Sanchez 55, Bazooka Joe, Stadium Gambler, Dak, and Double Dub. So that is that's impressive that they've got
lots of Dillos there.
I'm sure that has nothing to do with it. It's purely a coincidence that they might have picked the Dillos to advance to the World Series. Oh, man.
I think actually Stadium Gambler might be the only one that isn't a Dillo, if I remember correctly.
I think that's correct. Yeah, I think that's right. Oh, man.
Who would have thought that if you pick your team to win, that you'd still be around if they in fact do go to the World Series?
Oh, man. So,
How do you feel about the playoffs then?
well, it was kind of I guess, an unsurprising semifinal stream. I mean, aside from the Dillos upsetting the Hepcats, the team that had home field advantage and therefore the higher seed did win 3 out of the 4 series. Like Chicago, Lunar Base, and New York were all, I guess, favored to win just based on regular season records and the fact that they had that home field advantage. So really the only upset came from the Dillos Hepcats series, which in and of itself was quite the surprise to see the Dillos perform that well again. Like the Dillos aren't a bad team by any stretch of the imagination. Like looking at their record, they're 59-49. So realistically, they're 12 games back from the Hepcats, but like they're in the hunt. Like they're within 7 games of all the other like playoff teams, and the Hepcats were just like kind of a step above that grouping with that 71-37 record. So it is kind of surprising to see the Hepcats get taken out in a 4-1 series as opposed to like something closer like a 4-3 or even a 4-2. So it is kind of surprising to see the Dillos take them down that easily. I shouldn't say easily. This is obviously plenty of hard work from the Dillos, but 4-1 is a pretty decisive series victory. And to see the Hepcats, who went 71-37 in the regular season, lose the semifinal series 4-1 is a bit surprising to me.
Yeah, I mean it's always something when a team so hot, like heavily seeded and things like that, just seem to disappear kind of in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. It's always kind of not unfortunate, but it's one of those where I think there's always one every season. It seems unfortunate.
Right. And I know I've kept bringing up the idea of momentum, which really, I mean, it doesn't really matter too much in the OOTP sim. Like momentum, I don't think momentum is like a coded in factor for the sim engine of out of the park baseball. I don't think that's the case. But the Dillos do have the hypothetical momentum of having won the series against Anchorage 3-2, now having beat the number one seed in the Hepcats 4-1. So they're headed into this series against Chicago with quote unquote momentum on their side. And so I think it could be a potential Dillos win. Um, if it is a Dillos win, uh, I will fully accredit it to both hard work and a lot of momentum. But I mean, it's really not momentum. It's a lot of luck with the OOTP sim engine, but um, I kind of hope the Dillos win just to say that the momentum idea is a thing, although it really isn't. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see on Saturday which team comes out on top in both of these matchups. I probably should uh, tease the World Series streams a little bit more. We do have um, this this Saturday, August 12th. We have both of the World Series streams. Every single game will be streamed, not just the elimination games. For anyone that you know hasn't seen our World Series streams. Um, Dustillation will be taking us through the Minors World Series at around noon Eastern Standard. I assume that's Eastern Standard Time. Dust just wrote it's high noon as the time. It's high noon. Um, and then Lumosity Fan will be taking us through the Majors World Series at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with T Stoles co-hosting. Doesn't look like Dust has a co-host just yet, but I'm sure Dust will find someone probably. But that will be. Oh, excuse me. Meant to mute my mic there for a second, but I apologize about that. Dustillation at noon will be the Miners World Series host, and then Lumosity Fan will be hosting the Majors World Series at 8 p.m. Eastern Time with T-Stools. And then keep in mind we do have Prospect League tomorrow as well as Monday and Wednesday of next week, so you can tune in for all those streams. And also next week will be the draft streams. It's gonna be and the awards stream. It'll be exciting. We don't have streamers set for that, but as always, I'm gonna try and grab the majors draft because that's one of my favorite streams to do each season. Because just it's just people saying nice stuff about each other all stream. It's nice. I like it.
Yeah, rare PBE thing of people being nice.
I think that's a little unfair. I think most people with the PBE are fairly nice. There's
Yeah.
the bad stuff is just kind of more public with the drama stuff.
Well, yeah. But I mean, I will say, yeah, like the drafts, I think are always some of my favorite streams just because, yeah, like there's really no competitive thing to it very much, where it's just you get to see, where you're going to be spending the next X amount of seasons. So it's always a good time and always fun to see, people going somewhere that they expected or the vice versa. Or, hey, this person went a lot higher. This person nobody really kind of knew about that they went kind of high. So it's always fun to learn about people you may not even know that they got drafted in the first round. And here they are. Like, I don't know who that guy is. But apparently that team liked them, so it's always fun to see who could be the up and coming newcomers.
Yeah, I always look forward to that stream. It's just so much fun. I think I've only ever since I started doing the major draft stream, I think I've only missed one, and that was because I was out of town. But like I think all the rest of the majors draft streams I've been trying to take just because it's one of my favorites. It's just so much fun. I love it. But yeah, I mean it will be interesting to be on the other side of things too soon because I mean Marvell's not retiring this season or probably next season. But I mean Marvell is getting on the older end, so eventually she's gonna have to retire, and eventually I'll be back in the draft pool, and we'll see what happens there. Because I mean I've been in 2 major drafts so far, and like last draft I was the GM of the Vandals at the time, so I had to take my own player with a second round pick. But in the very first majors draft that I was ever part of, I was taking the 6th round. So it will be interesting. I don't think this is too egotistical of me to say that I think I will improve on my draft standing from my first ever draft. I don't think I'll be a 6th round pick or later.
I mean,
But
never say never.
It's true. It's true.
They might purposely not take you until the 7th.
Oh, I really hope they don't do that because you're saying high expectation. I think it's realistic expectations to expect to not be taken 6th round or later at this point when there's 16 teams.
Yeah, I'm
Don't
saying
chase
with draft classes kind of starting to dwindle, that also makes it a lot more difficult to get drafted that late.
I mean, it was season 18, which was I think one of the bigger draft classes that we've ever had because it was right around the time that like COVID was really hitting its peak in the U.S., and so a lot of people were kind of looking for hobbies online, myself included, and that's how I actually found the PvE eventually. But yeah, so I mean, looking at I scrolled back and I looked at the season 18 draft. They had 7 full rounds of picks, and then like 8th round had only 3 teams pass. 9th round had like 6 teams pass, and like they kept picking all the way until round 15, which
That is insane.
Yeah, it's absolutely wild. It's unheard of these days.
Oh, especially nowadays, yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're lucky if stuff's still going on in the 5th round.
Yeah, it's but I mean, like, I wasn't the only like late round pick because like with season 18 with all these players coming in, there were 15 rounds. Go look at the S18 draft on the JSync forum, but yeah, 15 rounds they went. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't the only one that went fairly late in that draft that turned out to be kind of a steal. Like, if you know Super TARDIS, who is now on Larry B. Burnside, his player, which was Ricky Vaughn in that season 18 draft, they were taken at pick 72 in the last pick of the 6th round.
That's That's wild.
Yeah. Andrea Maggiacomo was taken at 76, and they were over 1,000 TPE at their peak, like probably over 1,200 at some point. So like, imagine a 76 overall getting to over 1,200 TPE. Like that's wild. It was just a weird draft with so many players, and honestly, there weren't a lot of like early busts. There were a few, but like there weren't a lot because it was just there were a lot of unknown entities coming into the league. It was a big influx of new users that, and this was before you had the chance to this is before the days where the majors drafted after like a season after the minors draft did. So you didn't have a season of we can monitor this player and see how they do in the minors, see how well they're earning throughout 7 weeks of play. They didn't have that. So they're drafting all these people on the spot, and all they had to go off of was basically their scouting conversations. So it was really kind of an interesting draft. Drafting strategy has to be so hard for GMs, especially for minors GMs. Can you comment on that?
Really?
No?
I would say the easiest, I would say, I mean, I wouldn't say it's harder for the minors. I would say it's just a different mindset of what you're kind of going through. It really,
hinges on those conversations you have with the people and just kind of watching, all right, are they kind of sticking around? Have they been doing things? Are they asking the right questions? And then just kind of getting a feel for it, especially with how small the drafts have been getting. Your first round pick is kind of like, all right, the person that you have the most confidence in being able to at least get to that 350 peak, in the minors. And then everything else of that, like for me, is more so just building up a locker room environment. And because really the minors, at least the way I know I see it and a lot of other GMs, is you're trying to just cultivate a good environment for people to start their PBE career and get them going to the majors.
Right.
And then if success comes with it, that's great as well. But, as you've been a majors GM, I'm sure it's a kind of mix of the two.
Yeah, I mean, for Majors GMs, I think Majors GMs also have it a lot easier these days rather than back in Season 18 where you didn't have much to go off of. Like, Majors GMs, they have it easier in the sense that you can see a player's growth throughout a season. You have an idea of what to expect from them at that point. So there's not as much risk in a lot of the picks that the Majors GMs are making these days. Like, there is still some, especially if they're, a recreate that went inactive on their first create or doesn't have a big bank or something like that. So there is some risk to it, but I think there's a lot less risk nowadays. But with minors GMs, I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong in this, because I mean you would know better than most as a minors GM, and I haven't been a minors GM. I feel like with minors GM drafting, you kind of have to strike a balance too, right? Because like there's the players that are, really big names that are going to be earning a ton. They're possibly going to be getting called up soon. Like I was looking at back at Season 18 draft, Magic's player Paulo DiStefano Jr. Went first overall in the majors draft. They went the first pick of the fourth round, and like Gustav Beauregard, KC15's player, also went in the fourth round for the minors draft. And I feel like my thought process for that was that the minors GMs were striking a balance of players that are going to earn some, but are going to be down in the minors for multiple seasons and are going to be able to help out the team for maybe quite a lot longer than someone who's going to be called up within a season or two. Is that
so
accurate?
I mean that kind of goes into it, but I would say, especially now, like I said, with how small the draft classes are getting, it's you very rarely will see somebody down for 4 or 5 seasons, unless they specifically ask for it or if they're a slow earner. So if kind of like, I know that's what we did my first season as GM with Otter, is all right, we knew our window was coming to its peak my first season, so we made trades to try and strengthen our lineup, and we gave away some future picks. So the next 2 drafts after that, when we were going into it, we were kind of like, all right, we have later picks, like 4th round picks, 5th round picks, even some maybe a 3rd. We're like, all right, we know these people that usually fall back this far. There's a reason. Either like when they aren't sure of how long they're going to be able to actually put into the PBE, things like that. So stuff like that, definitely. If your rebuild is going to be a couple of seasons, or you're just starting your rebuild, that is something that you could do, is more so trying to get a good user in who might be new and still learning the PBE. But so they may not get called up right away. But then there are also folks where it's like, all right, well, if this person gets to us, there's no way we should pass up on them because of just not only the user, but then also the output. I know for me personally, I like seeing, just kind of getting an idea really of where, for recreates, it always depends too. Like recreates, obviously, for the most part, what their earning potential is going to be. So trying to just kind of see how they're going to be involved with the team, that usually dictates, like for me with recreates, is, all right, is this going to be somebody that's actually going to be around and participate in the team, or is this somebody that's going to, all right, yeah, they're kind of ready to get to the majors and move on? Because at that point, then it's like, all right, well, even if they move on right away, they're going to stick around in the war room, things like that, and really kind of just build a culture rather than just, they're here for 2 seasons and then they're gone.
Right. That makes sense. So it does sound like there's kind of still a little bit of a balance to that.
Oh, for sure, yeah. There's
Balancing
there's give and take, and it also always depends on the draft class. Like sometimes you'll have tons of these well-known recreates, and sometimes you only have a couple. So you really just gotta take what you're given.
Absolutely. Sounds like a very interesting type of drafting. Very different from the majors there.
Yeah,
Enoch is strategies drafted.
well, see, Enoch took a IA player in the first round that he drafted me, so no, there is no strategy.
Well, that note, too, just throwing shade at Enoch about taking an inactive in the first round. That's going to do it for us as the index is complete. It's updated. Big congratulations to the 4 teams that advanced. A big thank you to our mods team, as always, for putting in the good work and making predictions. And a big thank you to you, Parquad, for co-hosting today.
Thanks for having me on. Much appreciated.
Absolutely. Any closing thoughts before we call it a stream?
I just want to say congrats to the teams that move on, and then also just even if your team lost, congrats to you for getting to the playoffs. It's always a good run, regardless of how it ends. Obviously, everybody wants to get to the World Series, but only 2 teams do that. So the fact you got this far, congrats to them.
Very true. Big congratulations. So that's going to do it for us. Be sure to tune in on Saturday for both the Minors World Series and the Majors World Series. Both will be streamed, all 7 games or all however many games they go. But keep an eye on the Game Day channel to see where those when those streams will be happening. And we will see you all then. Have a good rest of your week, and we will see you all later. Bye, everyone.